Futures are reversing early gains that we saw this morning to trade back in negative territory, coming off the worst day of the year so far for the Dow on Thursday. Not good. Dow tumbled 600 points at the end of the session yesterday. S&P 500 down about 2%, 2.9 then for the NASDAQ that actually led the way. More Russian-Ukraine headlines coming through this morning, sending futures back to the downside. Going to be a very interesting day. Lots of individual names to consider this morning, including lots of teeny tiny little floats that all went crazy yesterday. We'll talk about that. On the week, the Dow now down 1.2%, S&P and NASDAQ down 0.9 and 0.5% respectively. With just today to go, if you are looking at earnings this morning, you're probably thinking about Roku. Big move down as well after forecast disappointed for Roku. DraftKings, very similar in negative territory. I mentioned all those little teeny tiny stocks, ISPO, CPTN, NVCT. There's ANGH. There's another one this morning, this QNGY, NRGV. It's an alphabet kind of day around here. It's Friday, February 18th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. Look at basically a flat market at this point. We were up nicely at one point, about 0.5% for the S&P before we got more headlines when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. So there we go. Negative 0.1 for the S&P. The Dow still hanging on. NASDAQ basically break even at this point to slightly lower. 2.5% downside already for crude oil at the bottom there. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum in negative territory as well. Selling is accelerating at this point for the S&P anyways, now down 0.2% here. As we head into a Friday, good morning, guys. Interesting day setting up here once again. As we've been saying all week, very headline-driven market. Here comes more negative headlines on the Russia-Ukraine front.
Yeah, welcome. It is Friday. It is witching, so that's options expiration. You've got the Olympics coming to an end, and everyone feared of war, possibly, an invasion over the weekend. Throw in that it's also a long weekend. So 3 days that the market won't be open. Yeah, a little bit of risk there, man.
Sorry, I have to change this guy.
What are you going to do?
I mean, he's been a bull for a very long time there, and it just hasn't been working.
Which is weird this week.
So let's change this guy over to a bear. I mean, is there any stocks that are up today, Neil?
Look, here's the thing. If nobody has heard of you, you recently de-SPAC'd or IPO'd this week and have a float of under 10 million, then you're up like 50%, so you're good to go. And you know what the crazy thing is? Almost should just have a screener for anything that has only been trading for less than a week, has a float below X, and if it's in a consolidation range, just put a stop order, and apparently you go long, you win 100%, and you're good to go. Oh, there's one more thing, if I'm going to be talking negative this morning. It's a snow day, and our school is closed, so shout out to my wife. You're doing yeoman's work. Whatever. I got the email at like 7 o'clock. It's like, yeah, that's when you tell everybody the school is closed. We knew the storm was coming last night, and all the snow got dumped last night. Good job.
But whatever. Spending time, at home with the kid.
Yeah,
it's fine. She loves playing in the snow, I assume.
Oh, God,
my kids are going to the grandparents' house because it's date night. Holla! Yeah, we're going to head out. There's a nice new Italian restaurant in our neighborhood, so we're going to go kill that. I'll see what's going on over there. But I won't be buying, the finest wines because unfortunately, a lot of the portfolio is southbound in the last 6 months, let's just say. I put a tweet out just a couple minutes ago, and it was, well, obviously the sticky note's out, but it was about Roku, and I just showed Lucas as well. And I mean, this name here, guys, was $500 in August. Thanks, Tim, for that. $500 up here in August, $500 back in February as well. Boom, boom, boom. Now today, $100. So you're down from $5 down to $100 here on Roku. And I mean, it's like, what really has changed? They actually had, their numbers weren't horrible, but again, in this environment, I put it on the sticky note here, there's nothing to do. You knew this was gonna be bad. We got a super chat last night about DraftKings, and I was like, down, like, sorry to say this, but down. Like, I don't even care what their numbers are. It doesn't matter. They're not going to guide forward. Roku, same thing. DraftKings, same thing. Shake Shack, whatever you want, Palantir again. Everything's going to just be going to the south side today. The NASDAQ, when I woke up, was like up 1% or something like that. And I was like, woohoo! and then you come in today, and now Ukraine, people are being told to leave Ukraine and go, head over to Russia. Some Russians are leaving. I don't know. There's tons of headlines here, Brendan, and it's just going to be a slippery slope all day, I feel like.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on what comes through at this point. I was just bringing up Shake Shack here, guys, 15%. Another one, Sean was saying there. $65 ends up being resistance there in the pre-market. Not a lot of volume, though, for Shake Shack. But on the other hand, NRGV just pushing through 19 back to $20. So as we were saying, take your pick this morning. You can go either direction. If you are under 20 million float or so, you're probably trading higher at this point. Lots to get to. Let's bring in Miss V here. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy Friday to you all. Please enjoy the show and your trading day. Make sure you like this video, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started. Lots to discuss here as we head towards the open, guys. Under an hour to go. I just showed you Shake Shack down 15% off of a pretty dismal report. I mean, there's not much in the way of positivity to point out this morning, guys. There was a note on Apple. I mean, Apple's going to move with the overall market. Some employees looking to unionize in the, I didn't actually say a location. I can show you the headline here. Some retail employees in the U.S. looking to unionize. So, I mean, Apple down on the overall market anyways. But yeah, tough to find some positive notes here this morning.
The positive thing about Apple is I'm not worried until it drops another 10%. But at least, look, a company that faces the inflation issues and those and obviously wage inflation is certainly a thing, but the company that can actually afford to do something about it and not have it be something that's devastating to them, that's where you want to go. And we just turned red. It's exactly following the market, by the way, and not really doing anything. And when I made that 10% comment, I think you mentioned it yesterday, Sean, and you'd be hard pressed to find some. There are some out there. Companies are still above that 200 period. And yeah, the breakdown hasn't really happened again in Apple. Oddly enough, the most impressive thing, or maybe it's the least impressive thing about that Roku chart that you pulled up, isn't so much that it was just at 500. It's that after the first pop to 500, it pulled back to 3 and got to 500 again. That's the thing that kills me, because there's so many things that did moves like that. And it's like, well, the second time it got up there, like a lot of things were sells at that point. Lemonade was a sell when it did that. Silvergate was a sell when it did that. I mean, a lot of things did that same move. Yeah. But like 40, 50% when it already showed you that kind of a thing. Oh, and I should mention this. There's been 3 or 4 days in a row where I've we come back, like maybe it's like 10 o'clock or maybe it's in the midday or it's in the afternoon show. I'm like, why wasn't I short Affirm? Well, today it broke the all-time low at 37.50, so I took the punch. My overall overarching plan was to short in front of 38, but I figured let's just take a little something small at 37. And that way, if it just falls and never comes back, at least I have something on board. But really, I did like in front of that 38. And that just comes back to that whole thing of it's a short till it's not. Like I remember, and it was probably like months ago, it feels like weeks ago, when Moderna was in that kind of a spell where you came in every single day and there was a structured short to be had and you just kind of did it until it didn't work. That's where Affirm is for me. I'm sure there's a million other names like that, but this one will try to ring the register. At some point, it makes a bottom. And I'll probably be short the day it makes a bottom. Realistically, that's going to happen. So,
are you short right now, or you got out already?
Oh, I took some out in front of 37, and then next stop 35, or 35. Back to 38.
$35.
Could happen.
Oh man, no, I'm just saying I can't believe can't believe how low we are there. Like I was saying, buy now, pay never up there way here earlier, and we talking about PayPal. PayPal's on the sticky note as well, and it's the same kind of thing here. And I wrote down that we might as well just short this thing because we are having a little bit of a slowness here on our data. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll change up here in a minute. But yeah, 105 is the bottom one more time here for PayPal. It tried to get going yesterday up to 107 or so. I mean that's in the aftermarket or the pre-market today, but yesterday's open was 111, and then they completely collapsed down to 105 again, and then today you're coming in and you're just staring at that same level again. This is PayPal right now bouncing off that 105. I mean, the market's bouncing, but when the market opens up, will it bounce? I mean, give the market a little bit of settling down, but I'm looking, just like Neil was looking at 105 on PayPal, as our caterer is rattling the crap out of stuff back there. You could see 105 bottom. The only long that I have on the sticky note here today today that I think we can respect a little bit is going to be Microsoft. Microsoft down here at 290 is a level that's pretty obvious. It's been obvious for a bit. We like that 90 level there. It's nice and round and makes some sense. So I wrote down on the sticky note today that we would try to scalp through this level. So that's what we're going to do, try to scalp through Microsoft at 290. But I'm not putting any bids. I'm not going to get caught in any trades here in the pre-market. Sometimes it just clouds my judgment, as you guys know. So let's wait to see what this opens up at, and then we'll check the imbalances as we get closer to the open. But I'm not sure what this market's going to do today, if not go down.
Just a heads up, guys, there's a news conference apparently happening right now. Putin having a news conference after a meeting, apparently, so heads up, there might be more comments coming from that. I did find one that is positive. Bloomin' Brands, the restaurant operator, up on earnings this morning. You can see absolutely no volume traded, but nice look for BLMN, up about 7% or so here in the pre-market. Yeah, some comments coming through here, so just a heads up on the overall futures. We'll keep an eye out on what is happening. I did note Deere as well, another one that reported here in the pre-market, guys. DE pretty active.
Yeah, like you're gonna be hard pressed to find a lot of positivity. Those are like John Deere, like that's, look, those are good earnings and they're a solid company. Although I said exactly the same things about AMAT yesterday, and it just, none of it mattered when the market really started to go. And if you look at what happened in yesterday's trade, like the Dow got crushed, right? Like I'm pretty sure we mentioned it, but you know, it wasn't like there was anybody that was able to withstand that pullback. It just didn't make a difference. Now, Deere, if you look at this chart, it's a tricky trade unless you're 400 break over and over again. Like it's been resisting that 400 level for a while now. And then your support, I don't know, maybe it comes in at 380 or something like that here today. That's way too tight to the levels that we're seeing right now, given this market. I mean, for sure, the 50 period in 370, like something like this gets down to a price like that after a good report, and then you try to dig into it. Like AMAT had a good early morning bounce. I think John Deere could be in that territory, but asking something like this to break out in this environment, I don't see it. It doesn't matter how much you like the company. It doesn't matter how good the report looks. It's just breaking through big resistance on the daily like this. It just has not been happening for anybody. So you know, I'd look more to if you get a chance to buy it and we can come down to 370 for sure. Otherwise, I don't know. Like, even if it got to 400, like maybe that would be a rollover short. But in the middle, not going to be touching it. It doesn't do great volume anyways. But yeah, it goes to show there's some solid companies that make things that are making money that are okay to have some money in. Unfortunately, mine's in CAT.
Things. Yeah, I don't really own like Nucor and GE and things like that. I don't really own CAT or Deere or anything, but I think in this environment, I mean, just pick your poison, really. I don't know what's going to work, to be honest with you. We had thought that value would work, and it is. I mean, that Deere's good. It's not going down as much, right? So you got to have some sort of, you know, yesterday was the worst day of the year for the Dow, so a lot of those names are going to be in there. Okay, so just so everybody can calm down a little bit here, the NASDAQ. So this is the NASDAQ, right? Like this is the NASDAQ 100. These are the triple Qs. It depends what names you're in. So that's the whole point here. We just showed you Roku. Roku topped out here in August, right? Which was right here. That's September, right here. This is when Roku was $500. You know, today, obviously Roku is all the way down here. The NASDAQ is not that far away. The NASDAQ is really just sort of back right now to where we were in June. Like, this is not, we're only back 8 months ago where we're at today. And so I'm sort of saying this as a cautionary tale because we have a hell of a lot more to fall, you know, if we even want to get back to levels. I mean, even down here where we were even a year ago, you know, September 2020, things like that, where we had a little bit of a swoon in the market followed by another one. Like, that's 270. We're at 340 right now on the Qs. So, you know, you have another 15% to go down before you know, kind of even get to these levels down here. So you know, if the NASDAQ goes down 15% more or even 10% more, then what are some of these Cathie Wood stocks going to do? You know, I mean, if Microsoft starts falling, Apple starts falling, then we're in a lot of trouble. So that's why I think that we keep talking about the king, Apple. I keep showing you Microsoft. I keep showing you names that you can actually try to buy on dips. And I think these are the ones you want to do that with. But this market, and again, maybe this is a little bit of Peter Schiff rubbing off and stuff, but there's no love right now. So let's just wait for that to happen. I don't think you need to put any new money to work, but volatility is great for day traders. So let's just get the direction right, and we can make a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty. 15.5% I just checked for the NASDAQ currently from the high to where we were at the close yesterday. The low was around 18. So yeah, I mean, lots of room to go potentially there. Let's bring in Michael Noss, chartered market technician from Trade Ideas, back on a Friday to give us a few ideas. Michael, good to see you as always. Thanks for doing this. A few ideas to the downside because, hey, that is what is happening right now. And as active traders, you know, in the market, we have to be willing and able to go both directions here.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, part of the reason the last few kind of episodes that I did, I was really harping on relative strength. And I just want to comment on what I was talking about, what I saw Sean talking about right before I came on here. But I really am in this camp, and it's kind of an unpopular opinion, that we are in two markets. We are in a growth tech bear, and there is some bull market action somewhere. So, for example, the relative strength algorithm that I've seen recently has been doing a lot of energy names, a lot of reopening names, a lot of names like this that are still holding up well. So what I would say is if you are a long-only trader, you still want to go to where that relative strength is. Look at gold right now, and silver is starting to perk up and starting to become relatively strong to the market. So if you're long only, there are still places to look. Sean was right. They're not going to perform nearly as well in a down market as they would in an up. But just, you know, I think it's time for a lot of traders to kind of reframe from I buy growth stocks, I buy tech stocks, I buy stocks like this, and into where I buy stocks that are going up. And it seems simple, but it is hard to reframe your mind if you've been trading a certain way for a certain time. But that being said, the first slide I have here, I actually noticed yesterday that our AI, so we have a day trading machine learning engine that we feed algorithms into, and it optimizes those algorithms. Generally speaking, I would say it's pretty long bias. And I highlighted in the little box there, it may be hard to see, but all of the trades yesterday except one was a short sale. And that really kind of stuck out to me as this generally long only kind of a machine is only finding trades on the short side. You know, even that one long trade didn't end up working out too well, and a lot of these shorts work well. So what I did for you guys is I just went back through the last 2 or 3 weeks and found a couple of the short calls that the AI put out that I think still look good from a swing trading standpoint, or if they break down, if you can get a good kind of day trading aspect on them. So the first one here is Fiverr. I think we all know Fiverr, right? You just rent people, developers or artists or whatever. Had a big gap up on earnings, and then that kind of failed pretty dramatically, closed right at the low. When good news like that gets reversed, I think it's time to pay attention. And on the daily chart, is putting in a bit of this bear flag. I think under 73 is where I'm going to watch this one. Next one is Roblox. That has just been getting really, really hurt for a long time. And then it looked like it was going to bounce a bit, but then that bounce got reversed. And again, I like when things don't happen that should, right? So if you know, the stock's starting to bounce and a lot of people are getting involved in that bounce and that's quickly reversed, that means there's a lot of hurt long people in there. It's got that low around 53 bucks. I think under that, that's where I'll be interested. Next one here is Sage. So Sage has put in this kind of double low, and it's been holding this 35 area for a long time, gapped under that. Anytime you see that little blue arrow on the chart, that's where the AI recommended a short as it broke down that prior support zone. Yesterday we had some follow through, so I think under yesterday's low, which is like 33 bucks, I think that's where that one gets interesting. A little revision to the mean one here in Zendesk, so a support software. If you log onto someone's website and you start chatting with them, you're probably using something like this. The AI was, again, the little blue arrow there 2 days ago, was looking at this prior resistance area that is now, or prior support area that now potentially could come resistance. So this one's actually been bucking the trend of the market. But if the whole market's going to sell, this one may actually be brought down with that. Next here is Signature Jewelers. And the reason I'm talking about what all of these industries come from, just to show you that it is kind of a wide breadth sell-off, other than those narrow areas that I talked about before that are still experiencing strength. So typical descending triangle here, where you've got a couple equal bottoms around $77 per share, and every time they rally it, they get a little bit worse off. So I think under that 77 is very interesting. And last but not least, CLR. And this one is another one that's been a strong stock, but it had earnings a couple days ago, and the AI actually took the short directly after earnings. So it's struggling around $54 a share. So I'm just using that as my out. So I can be short under $54. If we close above $54, that's where I've got to exit and move on.
A lot of those consumer discretionary type of stocks, as you said, have been strong in this market, but getting to a point where, you know, the selling is kind of filtering through to even some of those individual names. So great stuff, as always. Michael Noss, Chartered Market Technician at Trade Ideas. We appreciate your time, as always.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend. It is, I mean, a lot of names on there, guys, that we've discussed over the past few days, even looking a little bit more weak.
Yeah, well, I mean, Roblox. I think we'll all be looking at Roblox today, right? Obviously,
it has that 53 bottom.
Yeah, like the last couple of days, and then you had that wick bottom. I guess the January low was at 53, and then we've been putting that one in. So I know that's a setup a lot of us are going to look at. I think it should still be SSR.
It should be. I want to thank Michael Noss though, because I think that if you guys. Just quickly here, just so I can get it in, because you know, if you do need some ideas, some setup stuff like that, I mean, that Trade Ideas platform and software is killer. So I want to say that, you know, we don't have any sponsorships or any affiliate deals or anything like that, but we want to thank Michael for coming on the show and just showing you guys that there is an AI engine out there that can help you. We talk about looking at these. I see your charts are frozen. We talk about looking at these levels and looking for ideas, and we have the watch list, we have the sticky note as well. But obviously, to get some of this, you know, from a trader like Michael and a system like that, I'm only laughing because, like, anyways, thanks to Trade Ideas and Michael Noss. So check him out also on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just laughing today because right now our data seems to be a little bit wonky.
Well, you know what happened? I tried cleaning up my Roblox chart, which had this. It is a weird print on my 15-minute and on my daily. So I'm like, I'll just clean it up in the data editor. And of course, the second I did that, you know, the chart crashed, and Sean was watching as it happened. But yeah, look, what's great about with Michael, a different perspective is, I'm sure we could have. We're all looking at that 53, all for different reasons. I might just be looking at a clean double bottom break, and it's just for the day trade. He's showing you a higher time frame look, is the momentum behind it, and a bigger setup. But the best part about it is getting those multiple points of input or reasons to get into something gives you that extra confidence for the trade. Sometimes it's not just about one thing that you like about the trade. It can be lining those things up in succession. To me, it's like the best trades you get, there's 3 or 4 strong reasons or signals that you get to want to be entering that trade. And that's one of the values of their platform and bringing Michael on. Oh yeah, we got some interesting ones here on that upgrade downgrade list.
I see Cantor Fitzgerald needs to get out of a name, so we're going to find out in about 1 second. So let's go over to Brendan.
Good one. Yeah, top of the list here. Canopy Growth getting an upgrade today for Cantor. Robinhood, Fastly, Marathon, all to the upside. Bit of a backwards day. Intel, Palantir, Roku, and Walmart. Cathie Wood, 4.8 million shares sold of Palantir yesterday, guys.
Hell, could someone follow Cathie Wood when she sells it at the low and buys these things at the high? Like, honestly, I don't understand her thesis here anymore.
Stuff
and
right
I mean,
there, bro.
and
Jedi.
It's like, yeah,
you don't know what's going on. There's some
nobody knows what's going on.
Jedi mind trick.
Best research in business, she was saying. I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like in her ARK Innovation ETF, one of her largest holdings is DraftKings. How is that innovative? Like, I don't understand what is going on. I think it's a disruptor.
I mean,
right, it's fine, but it's not a disruptor anymore, though.
Well, that's the thing.
It's like,
it was
I think
a disruptor.
It was, yeah. And I mean, and then you're dumping these stocks, and what? Let me guess. Cathie Wood dumps 5 million shares of Roku today at open. Like, I mean, what? So you buy it at 300, 400.
Is ARK in Roku?
Yes, Roku's a major name for them.
I thought they were selling that one, though. Maybe
probably. I mean, they actively manage this stuff, but it's like, why do we hear at 14, and Henry knows this, and everybody knows, Joe and all you guys that send me all these things about Palantir, you know, it's like buys at 14, buys at 15, buys wherever, sells at 11. Like, that's not anyways, whatever. But some of those upgrades and downgrades there.
I did want to say there's one on the list we should mention because it wouldn't make the watch list, and it's probably people don't care too much about it. But Intel had their investor day, right? And Gelsinger came out and basically said, this is a turnaround play. 2025 is where it's going to be. Margins aren't going to come back until they get to 2025. So given the fact that that's going to be that type of play, if your money's in there, you have to understand this is what you're getting with that company. You're waiting for a couple of years, and they're acknowledging it here. At least they're being honest about it, but they're going to be under some pressure today because of that. Because the last thing, even though they got plenty of cash, remember, they're spending it heavily, so their cash flow is actually going down because they're investing in infrastructure in those new plants. So they're going to be under pressure for that, I think, today. Might be worth it to look at them for a bit of a day trade, but yeah, that's the reason for the Intel downgrade.
What is Kraft Heinz, another earnings name from this week, back to the upside here. So not a lot of volume, but just went red to green. You can see 1, 2, 3 days in a row now back to the upside as well. So these types of names, yeah, that was kind of a boring trade, but straight up, all day yesterday, it's worth noting on this, even after what happened to the overall market, guys. So something like a KHC or CLR, as Michael was talking about there, worth keeping in your back pocket.
Yeah, we talked about what to buy in this environment and things like that. And, we went to Berkshire. Berkshire's going crazy. And I see on here, like, everyone's, like, sort of down, like calling Cathie Wood, like, certain things. She's really smart. I mean, there's no doubt. You listen to her talk. I mean, she knows what she's talking about. It's just the thesis that she has right now, into her own admin, isn't working out. I mean, there's nothing she can do. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing Neil can do. There's nothing Warren Buffett can do that we're talking about right now that can control inflation. I mean, inflation is running rampant right now.
Good.
And when you're investing into growth stocks, and that's sort of what you're doing, and the good thing about ARK is they're not shy about their holdings, and they're not shy about, when they buy and sell shares of stock. So it's just a wrong thesis. And people are saying, oh, anyone's a genius in a bull market. Yeah. I mean, that's where people get their credibility, and we'll see. I mean, time will tell. It's hard to say, like, oh, ARK is down. It was like, what, $100 in January or more than that, like 120, 130, and now you're down to 70. So, I mean, yeah, it's a long-term story, and let's see where it goes. And this is another long-term story here. Berkshire invested into Coke, invested into Kraft Heinz, like you're just saying there, and invested into banks, Wells Fargo, different opportunities like that. Neil's talked about Pepsi over and over again, and just different names like that will continue to work in this environment. And here's a perfect example. This is Berkshire, right, straight to the upside. And then here's our friend ARK right now that we were just talking about, and you're going to see the complete opposite movement in her accounts, in her indexes, right? So there it is right there to the opposite end. So it's like one versus the other. One will work in this environment and one doesn't. So I don't know. Like, I stepped into ARK-Q yesterday, just small, because I feel like at these levels, but why? I mean, I don't even know where the bottom's going to be in some of these names. So you have to understand your own time frame and your own investing, and that's where a stock like Kraft Heinz might be good. But even that, we talked about Intel, and you just talked about it there on the downgrade being possibly a safe place to go for value as opposed to growth. And then they get downgraded and they get hit. AMD is going to follow that today. NVIDIA, I put out the tweet got a little bit of love there yesterday, and I have to shout out to Wall Street Memes, I think it was. I gave credit to it. But here it is right here on my Twitter account. This is my boy Shawn Michaels right here, right? This is NVIDIA reporting beat on earnings. Everything's great, strong demand, blah, 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 everything's good. The market, stone cold right now. This is what this is, 90 likes, man. We all know about this kind of stuff. And it's just like, there's nothing you can do. If NVIDIA is going to fall, and this is an NVIDIA type of world, I feel like. We're talking about Meta. We're talking about getting PCs, ramping those up, online gaming, cryptocurrencies, whatever, the demand of these things. Prad tells us all the time, you can't even pick up, Neil, any of these cards on the shelves.
But remember,
it's ridiculous. But there's supply chain issues, there's inflation.
But revenue grew by 53%
Not
for
enough.
NVIDIA. Think about that for a second. All of that's true, and yes, they're still growing. And guess what? You know what? They're going to have ridiculously good growth next year too, and the margins are going to be just fine for them. But it doesn't necessarily, and that's a crazy thing here. It doesn't necessarily matter because we're just everything's getting repriced currently, and that's what it's about. It's like, where does the value come in, and what are these things worth? So, like, it's these companies are all fine. I just wanted to point out Kraft because I looked at it and I'm like, this is pretty interesting. I never looked at this chart, and then Brendan mentioned Kraft Heinz here, and that double top. You pull up the daily, always zoom out. out. Your 200 period is it just bounced off it here. It just ran away from it a couple of weeks ago at 38.50. But look at this resistance at 38 to 38.5 and breaking that 200. I mean, if this gets through it, that's a pretty strong move. Now, I would expect you might have some pullback here in today, but a higher consolidation, all of a sudden, there's something which is actually setting up for a potential break. Now, these levels can work in both directions, but hey, sometimes you got to expand in these types of markets. Maybe the longs are just somewhere else, and you got to be able to find them.
I just quickly here, because this is a very, very good point here, and it's right here. Hold on, let me get it. I've just found it again. It's by Chevy Chase. What's up, Chevy Chase? Fantastic actor. If should be a member though, Chevy Chase. Sean's generation have no idea what is coming. That's true, and that's the point. Is that there's a lot of new investors right now. Not that I'm new, I'm old, but there's a lot of people that are stuck now. That have made money off Bitcoin or have made money, whatever, in real estate or anything like that, or just made money in the market, and they haven't seen, a major collapse like that. I mean, obviously, I started investing, in 2002, 2003, even a little bit before that. So I saw 2008, but I didn't have any real money. I was just getting started in the workforce, right? And so, now I'm managing a lot more, than I was at that point. And yeah, you do feel the pain in some of these names. And that's why I hold about 40 names or so in my account, right? All very well diversified, I feel like. So although Jim Cramer is a guy that I watched growing up almost every day, even with my father, watching Mad Money, reading books like Wealthy Barber and things like that, I'm well invested in a lot of dividend names. But when you see this happen in the market and it absolutely collapses, I mean, nothing's been safe. We've talked about even some of the banks starting to pull back. Morgan Stanley now back down to 95. Things like that, Goldman Sachs. But anyway, stay well diversified, and I think that you could be okay in this environment. It just sucks to have all these high growth names, but I got to change this. I'm not even looking at ARK. I just have it up here. But let's go over maybe now back over to Brendo, and I think we have Arun waiting.
This wasn't planned at all. I mentioned Kraft Heinz, guys, but this just popped up as I was sitting here listening to you guys. Partnering up with Google to accelerate scale of ambitious digital transformation. So KHC teaming up with Google for that, but no reaction from the stock on that news. Let's bring in, as mentioned, Arun on a Friday, going into a long weekend with a lot of headline risk. Arun, what are you looking at?
Well, this market got real exciting real quick. I sat down at around 7:38, 7:40 or so, and we were trading around 4,400, right? And then it just dropped 30 points. And if that market can do that, then I think there's a lot of opportunity now presented as we go into a long weekend, like you said, on a Friday. It's also the third Friday, which means there's probably some options expiring as well. There could be some added volatility from that. Add the headline risk, add a long weekend, add all that stuff together. The market's showing you what it can do. So there should be some excitement. We've got a couple wide ranges, though, to work with. The same range from yesterday that we were looking for shorts, 4,460 going up to 4,500. That level still in play up top. Downside, we've got, I've got 43.15 marked off, but I actually want to see what's south of 43.60. If we can get below, there's two plays here. If we can get below 43.60 and maybe hit some stops, get to 50, bounce back, find a decent setup, there's a long there. That's just a matter of taking out some stops from the 13th or a few days ago, essentially 5 days ago, Monday. So if we can get those stops cleared and then find a decent buy, there's an option to go long. If we were to get through the 50 and still kind of work our way, grind through like we saw yesterday, where the market just refused to kind of catch any bids, or any bids that it did get, it wouldn't take the market that far out. If we got that, then odds are we're probably going to go closer to that 43.15. And then at that point, if you break that, you're looking for shorts. So those were the two plays that I'd be looking at. We are sitting still in a wide range. Like I said, 4,500 up top, 43.15 down below. But we're getting closer to the other side of the band. We were on one end yesterday, and now we're closer to the other end. And there's two possible trades here. And I think the open is going to be saying a lot. This market just bounced from the low. It looks like about 20 points or so from the low that we just put in. So this market's got some activity and volatility. I think there's going to be an opportunity at some point to make a play today. It's been a fairly quiet week, apart from today, yesterday. So we should get something going, and I think the weekend is going to bring something, and hopefully there's some opportunities here to play.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again on Tuesday, guys. Remember, a long weekend, Monday off, both sides of the border, which is kind of nice. Let's get into everything else we need to know this morning heading into the open. We'll jump into the watch list here. Miss V will have that link for you in the chat if you want to grab the watch list. Absolutely free every day. Roku, top of the list this morning, was down sharply after market. Just made a low here in the pre-market as we speak. So I just checked, guys. As of the close yesterday, this thing still trades 70 times earnings. So maybe some room to go to the downside.
Exactly. Like we talk about the crunch, and it's like for a lot of these names, okay, call me when it gets to 30. Like I don't know where you call the bottom here. Obviously $100. We're going to talk about 100. I wrote down 100 and 110, and that's just because they're round numbers.
It's funny because like Pratt told me this is when Facebook was this is the Roku's.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so the story about Pratt with Roku. Let's do this first of all. Roku earnings just as the market. You might have heard us if you're watching our show yesterday in the afternoon, and Roku earnings came out almost right away there, and it went up. And Pratt was like, "Oh my God, the Roku earnings are out," and it went up $5. He's like, "Oh, it's up $5." And we're like, "No, man, the earnings aren't out. This thing's not moving $5 no matter what." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well we'll see." And then bang, they came out, and actually they bounced around a little bit here. And honestly, I would be short already. It's just the last couple times I was taking some pre-market trades and I sort of got distracted from what we were trying to do here on the sticky note. Man, I got to improve my writing today. But Roku was $500 in August, now $100. I'm not even going to, like I said, no point in going over the numbers, so I'm not going to do it. It just wants lower, right? And you can't go long until it breaks through 110. So I'll put the sticky note up here in the chat so you guys can have a look. But honestly, there's really nothing to do here with Roku today. It's a sell. Honestly, when I sat down, it was at 108, 109, something like that, right into here. It was. 110 almost right here at 8 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to short this thing. And then I said, well, if it breaks above 110, then I'm going to be averaging in, and then blah, blah, blah. And you know how that goes for me. So it's just like I wanted to wait until the market opened up here. Wrong move on that one. And if we zoom in here, look at Roku just in the last hour, man. It's only 9:06 right now. This is 8:06. So even in the last hour, we're down 6%. In the last hour, like 109 down to 103. So not exactly 6%, but close enough to that. And it's just tank city. Maybe 100 gives us some love, Neil. I'm going to be sitting here and shorting any pop. And if we're lucky enough to get something at 108 and change, then we're going to do that. And that's where my order's sitting right now, 108, 108.50. We'll see if we can crack that to the short side. And then we're going to use 110 as our out. That's it. Roku's going to be extremely violent once the market opens up here. You already have 40 cents worth of spread. And I mean, if anyone buys this, then hey, I guess it's just people that were caught offside or people that are short want to realize this profit when they open up. So I don't know, man. I just feel like this stock is dead until something changes. And we talked about that with PayPal yesterday, with revenue, with all the growth metrics heading to the south side. You can't buy any of these names until there's a physical turnaround. And honestly, if you miss the 10% move up, that's fine for me because you could have a 50% move down from here if you start nibbling. So I've taken that word out of my dictionary. I actually just fired an email off to my dad and I was like, scratch everything I was talking about before. Cash is the only symbol you need to be in right now. And let's just wait for this invasion to happen on Sunday or even earlier. And then at that point, I think you can start to buy. But with Roku, no, man, 108.50 is what I'm looking at for short.
Well, I don't think the Olympics finish until Sunday. So maybe Monday. Well, anyways, that's another topic.
What exact time?
And we'll get into that. We'll get into that if it even happens. But when we talk about nibbling, like just make sure you distinguish 70 times earnings versus like more solid companies like you mentioned Microsoft. There's a big difference between nibbling into that or nibbling into the index or something along those lines. But yeah, there's room below 100. And the daily chart, it's literally to 60 if you pull up the daily. But this was also last week at $180. So if it breaks 110, I've said this before. The one thing I want to improve is if it starts breaking out, I'm not going to average into this short. I'll then look back to some key levels. I can't see myself wanting to be long this name today. So I'll be on the short side of it. The difference with a firm, a firm took it early because it broke that low. So that's the equivalent. The firm breaking 37.50 would be like if Roku had already broken 100, would I try it? Yes. It's going to be short sell restricted when it gets to 100, so you can't hit the bid without an uptick, but there should be liquidity there, so you take a shot, you might get it. We'll see what happens. It feels like it's inevitable. We're testing 100 at some point today.
The next big name, at least, to report earnings, guys. DraftKings out this morning. Another one that missed right across the board. Forecast coming up a little bit light for DKNG. Bit of a same story here.
I'm treating DraftKings like the Palantir trade yesterday.
Oh, man.
There's a level on the daily chart. Yeah. It's at 1750. Actually, we kind of went over this already yesterday. So if you tuned in yesterday, basically going to repeat what we said before. You had this wick bottom at 1750 or so. If it gets down to that price, what I'm kind of looking at, I expect things to be pretty hairy at the open, is if you get a drop down, test that 1750 area, you got to give it a few pennies or maybe 10, 15 cents down there, breaks the level, can't follow through, and then comes back to the upside, holds, then you're looking for a quick little long type of idea. I'm not doing this with Roku. I just feel like there's a better chance to me that you'll get a bounce on something like a DraftKings at a level like that if it traps short at the bottom than something like a Roku. Because Roku, like I look at that gap on the daily in Roku and just say to myself, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if you're shaking any shorts out in that kind of a fashion. Whereas in DraftKings, it easily could do that. And on top of that, DraftKings is going to have a manageable spread, so you're not going to get yourself hurt too badly. You can always manage that trade pretty well. It'd be easy to get in and out in that range. Roku could be a totally different story. Like you make a misstep around 100, and it could be at 101, 102 a lot faster than DraftKings is going to move that relative percentage. So 1750, the only thing I'm looking for at the long, I'm not bidding in front of it. I'm just looking to see if we have a fail break, and then we can jump into the long at 1750.
Yep, I don't have anything else to say. 1741 is a 52-week low, so that's it. That's that 1750 level. You can see here on the chart that 1780 or so was the bottom at about 730, and we'll see if that holds. Normally, I'd be telling you I'm sitting here with bids, but I'm not. So I'm not sitting anywhere with bids right now. I'm only sitting with a bid on MSFT. So we will, I see some talk, we will. There are, if you want to go to watchlist.tradertv.live, there are some small cap runners and stuff like that on there, and we will get to them. They're on our list. They're not on there, but we'll get to them soon enough. But Microsoft is really the only name that I'm trying to bid down here near 290. If the market swells down again to the downside, as there's more right now about people evacuating Ukraine coming on the headline right now. So that's not going to be good. That will send the market to a tizzy, which I think is incorrect. The market needs to go down for other reasons, and I think Ukraine is a buying opportunity rather than a selling opportunity. But again, this market is crushed. So there's there's Microsoft. We'll talk about DraftKings. We just did talk about DraftKings. Let's go over here quickly here just to see what's on. Yeah, Palantir, good one. They're a buy. We will get to that in a second as well. And I like Palantir, but again, maybe not for today's trade. Ford, so on and so forth. All right, we will get over to Palantir, but let's just run through this board. Oh, Palantir's next, Brendan. Let's take it away, and then we'll go over to it.
Guys, welcome everyone again. I remind you to like this video as we really need your support. So please smash that like and let's go to Brendan.
Yeah, let's go to Palantir here. Still in positive territory for now. It's up 0.5%. Kathy Wood out after market yesterday with her trade list that showed a giant sale of Palantir, as we were saying, guys. I mean, selling basically on the lows, it would appear anyways, after earnings for Miss Wood.
Yeah. So I wonder. You remember there was a price, and it was like 12. I think it was like 12.20 or something. There was some big size here, and I got in and out. This is a one. I wish my chart was here, but there's a big sell candle right here. You said 4 million shares or so. This is 2 million right here, done around 12.40. So maybe that's that as well. And then probably some selling off the open, which drove it down initially down to that 12 area where we bought, and then hit this up to the upside, and then just made some messes here in the afternoon as it just kept going down, and we played off some imbalances, if you remember, off on the close. And the imbalance came with a buy imbalance, I believe. And yeah, there it is, a big buy imbalance at the close at 11.75. So for me, that's pretty key down there at 11.75. We wrote it down. I wrote it down on the sticky note. I just put down 11.75. That's that. I think it's worth a punch to the short side at this point, just to see where it goes from there. And it's a big time low for Palantir. We haven't been anywhere near here since its direct listing days. So it's given everything back. There's a lot of stock that are obviously well below their IPO price, and this may be going there as well. And again, not an IPO, I know that, so I don't want to see anybody messaging me about that. But there it is right here. That's at 11.75. We hit it back on on January 24th. So about a month ago, we were already down here. We'll see if it holds. It's very, very key. It's 11.75. They do have that bid imbalance. You can see there are some buys coming through here in the market. They're on the New York book, so they won't print. So you'll see like that's a 20,000 bid popping in there. And what that's happening is they're just being added here on this buy imbalance. So we'll wait to see if that can kick it up a little bit. And if it does, like I don't want to short Palantir either in here because it can take off. And we just need to see what it wants to do today. I'll probably push the short here at right off the open at 9:30. So I'm going to be looking short 11.75. If it breaks, it breaks. We'll hit it to the low side, and then we can use 12 as our out. But other than that, we got to wait for this stock. It could bounce again. Like yesterday was earnings day. It tanked early, and then it stopped about 9:45, right at 12 bucks, and then ripped to 12.70. So can it go up 70 cents again today? Easily. Can it go down 70 cents today? Easily. So we have to wait for direction, and for me the direction's negative, so I'm going to go short 11.75, but not until we open.
Yeah, it's interesting because remember that the long back up 12.05, that's actually the pre-market high right now. I just look back at where the move stopped. Previous support 12.75 here, and then 12.80. I think if it gets into that range, the target area to short a pop, I suppose, would be about that 12.75, where the move stalled out. When we both had the long trade, and it stalled out at 70. So just above that to 13, I think that's that target area. If things get out of hand to the upside, and you don't want to do anything but go short, then I'd be waiting for that range. I wouldn't be jumping into it here. It either breaks the low and goes lower. If it breaks out from 05s, I would expect a decent chance it at least gets to that 70 mark. So I'm going to be watching this off the open. It could have a fail break and then 05s along, but DraftKings just seems a little bit spicier to me for that setup. And you can only watch one of those types of plays at 9:30, and DraftKings had earnings today. All
right, let's maybe get through a couple of things here. Some of the Chinese stocks under pressure, I mean the whole market is, but there was a note on BABA and TME specifically. They were added to the what is the list called? The e-commerce sites operated by China's Alibaba and Tencent. The U.S. government's notorious markets list, which has a lot of these in negative territory today. There's BABA down 2.5. TME looks about the same. And JD.com was the other one that was under pressure in the pre-market here. So there's that. And then maybe let's also talk about some of these crazy high flyers this morning, because ANGH, which is a Spotify kind of thing, ISPO up or down this morning, but crazy move yesterday. And then, as I said, NBCT, there's NRGV, that's CPTN, QNGY as well. All just absolutely crazy so far.
So to get the notorious listing out of the way, like that has to do with like copyright issues and, well, just infringement and fake products and yada, yada, yada. And they're going to fight all of that. But being on the list is not good for your reputation. Like, there's nothing bad that happens when you get on that list. They're not being banned from selling anything or listing. It's just, it's not good for your reputation. But they are all down today, so it might move the markets. These names, every single one of them except for it was, crap, I forget which one it was. The last one, QNGY. All of them have ridiculously high borrow costs. I mean, I'm talking like turn me into a rune. I don't want to pay for short cost, except for that last one, QNGY. It doesn't mean that people aren't going to be looking at trading it. Look, if you're long this and you swung it overnight, congratulations, you're still up. But this had a monster right turn when retail, ISPO, when retail came in at 7 a.m., it just proceeded to sell off for like 25 straight dollars with no bid. And that's the scary thing about these. Like, the floor breaks and you could be back at $25 to $30, $35 in an absolute heartbeat. So be very cautious. I don't know if I like the long in any of them. If I was paying for shorts, I'd be sitting there waiting for and praying for it to get back to 100 to get any kind of a curl off of yesterday's highs. If it bounces to the downside, I'd really just be looking to see if it could hold the 35 to 40 area. That's about the only level that would make any sense to me, where you might actually have some constructive buying there. You might have the original top as a bit of a floor for you at 30 bucks. And these are the ranges we're discussing, $5, $10 at a time. So you're only trading this name if that's what you can stomach. Otherwise, you should just absolutely move on. It's not about logic. It's not about valuation. These are pure momentum plays because there is low liquidity on each one of them. So they're all high halt risk, which does set up some of those halt trades that we talk about, sort of using the halt levels to your advantage on reopens. But yeah, I didn't pay for shorts in anything except for QNGY, and then that's already made a bit of a flush.
Let's go to DWAC here quickly. DWAC, big move down yesterday on that note about former President Trump going to have to be deposed under oath in a New York courtroom. I mean, as we said, if you're watching in the show late in the day yesterday, it doesn't directly, obviously, affect Digital World Acquisition Corporation or Truth Media per se at this point. But obviously noteworthy here again, DWAC with a big move down yesterday.
Yeah, that was a big drop, like $6 or $7 on that news, Brendo. And look, I'm going to go back to the well and maybe think about 88s. I tried the long yesterday. I wanted to give it more room because I thought we could fill in that gap at the open. It didn't happen. It tried to break out. I got stopped out. You would have had to hold it $4 or $5 against you to just try to make 2, which didn't make a heck of a lot of sense. So, well, it was about $3 against you to try to make the 2 at 90. I thought it was breaking 90, so it is what it is. If it goes up to that 90 price again, that's the first level I would look to fade. That 88 to 90, that's the target range. Maybe 87 is going to go right back to being resistance. But when it dropped in the afternoon, I kind of felt like hey, it's got to go to 80, and then maybe you're looking at some buying. I just look at these levels here, right? 78.5, 79 bottoms. So I don't know that you really love the long until you get closer to 80. Otherwise, you're risking $2, $3 on your trade. So count me out until it gets a heck of a lot lower. But I like the short today, and if it does a pop, I'll go back to the well where I'm just trying to short in front of that 87 to 90 range.
I'm just writing Maggie here. Yeah, so look, DWAC still has that 86. I mean, Neil just went over some levels there. I don't have much to say about it. I'm going to be looking at a lot of these stocks that are on the sticky note and some of the ones that are reporting today and so on and so forth. So, but DWAC is a great stock to trade, and I think that as the news comes out and as we get closer and closer to the Truth Social launching, that's going to be a name that you're going to want to look at. And don't forget about CFVI. I actually think Rumble is a little bit undervalued. Just because of the opportunity there. If it gets going, there's a lot of easy monetary opportunities with an online streaming company, because you could just sort of follow the same model as YouTube, getting the sponsors in there and whatnot. Obviously, there's always going to be regulations and FTC and this and that, but I like CFVI in that space, and don't forget about Funware if DWAC where it starts to go, Brendo.
All right, I want to mention this NRGV, the most active by far of this group so far this morning. It did that yesterday, so it did pop up along with the other ones, but nowhere near as significant of a move as the other ones. But monster volume. You can see already in the pre-market here, we're doing 50% or so of the volume that we saw yesterday. We're coming back into 19 and then 18, which is a bit of a pivot here. So far in the pre-market, if it starts holding 19, between 19 and 18, probably sees higher so far today. So it's going to be all about volume on this for me at the open. What is the volume? Where is it directionally going? If we do see a lot of buying coming in, this thing could test the highs or even higher, guys, for NRGV.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to get to you here slow back, asking about Virgin Galactic. Chamath is out of it. I do want to be into this name. I'm trying to short a pop if we can get one. I'm on the offer, just sitting in front of that. This is like a 945, 950 has been a bit of a level. You saw what happened when it broke out that day where I was essentially short, and this is right at right at the open, and we broke out that level, came right back in, right? Like they open up those registrations or deposits, 150 grand. To go into space, and you get a bump off that news, and you're coming all the way back. So right back into the exact same range that you were before after everything settles down, and Chamath is out. I don't think that matters one bit. Doesn't really make a difference to the company at this point. But you're right back in the same range, so I'm going to try to put the same trade on, which is short into that high. And if it breaks, fine. I would not be reversing this trade. To me, it had a catalyst when it made that move. Today, there is none that is positive. But I'm going to be on the offer. At the open, I might decide to get more aggressive in front of 920, but that's about it. Otherwise, I'm sitting, just like 935 here on the offer to try to go short Virgin Galactic. There's a lot to be watching here today, but you don't want to totally forget about some other names that have worked well. It was, on that day it stunk, but I remember the day after when things calmed down, it was just an absolutely gorgeous short. And then I completely ignored it yesterday. So that was obviously a mistake. Like, you don't do this and then not short it here when it breaks that $10. So today, I'm going to be on the south side of Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, we're all doomed, says Natasha. You talked about going over to a stock that was working well, and I think that that's what you have to do. And yesterday, NVIDIA was working well for me. You know, in here, nicely scalped. This is what we're going to try to do with Microsoft here today. I'm going to try to do with NVIDIA again. I'm going to explain where. Down here, this was a great buy. We let it fall. So again, in, out once it breaks 250, right? In for dollars, $2. $2, 150 in here a couple times. And then as soon as it breaks, that's the out right there. So you could see nice outside moves to the downside. Then we waited for it to base out down here at 242 or 243, sorry. Took the long at 243 flat, got out 245, got out right there 248. So, you know, you take it $5 in the money, and then again, take it here at the close and get out for a quick little hit if you're wrong. That's the recipe for success if you're going to be a day trader like us. That is that try to hold your winners and then scrap the losers when they're not working, right? And so with that being said, if the market wants to rip today, look what's positive. NVIDIA's up 0.38%. This is the best name that's gotten hit. In my opinion, it's not even a question. I don't even think there's a better name out there that's gotten hit as much as NVIDIA that we should be buying on dips. But again, I don't know if today's the day to do that. I'd rather miss NVIDIA, these bottoms, than pay a little higher when we know it starts to go. I've been getting in on SMH is the last anything in this space that I bought, and that was at 264. So I can check out what SMH is at now. I don't even know. But again, NVIDIA down here, the market's starting to rip upside right now, which is beautiful. I don't know if we're going to get our Microsoft long. Microsoft's now at 293. It just went up a buck straight to the upside there, and look what NVIDIA just did. And I was just going to say, if the market rips up, this is what I was in the middle of saying, this is the name that you want. So there it goes, NVIDIA, 244 to 246 in 1 minute. So let's see if we can respect some of these bottoms of 243-ish. We'll buy some 243s, and then we are also buying some 240s. So if the market does dip down in here on NVIDIA, we'll buy some 240s right here as well, and that's going to be our out. So we'll buy some 243s, and we'll average in down to 241-ish, and then if 240 breaks, we're gone. I will lose on the long on NVIDIA today if this market starts to go upside. So let's wait to see what happens. I'm not paying these prices. I don't want to be the guy that pays the top today. I'd rather buy the bottoms. So let's see if we can get something. If it breaks through here, I want to be a buyer of NVIDIA at these bottoms yesterday, 243. So that's where my order is right now with only 3 minutes to go. And because we just got the NASDAQ, and then we'll throw back over to some ideas from Neil. Palantir here with a nice bid. Apple with a bid. So this is what just sparked that rally, right? These things come out at 925. You can see right here, this is 925, a nice spike up. You got Apple with a buy, so that spikes it up. Intel with a buy, Microsoft with a buy, AMD with a buy. So a lot of these, you know, high quality names here, like AMD, Softy, Intel, Apple, I don't, not Palantir, but you know, some of these names that are higher quality have been in here for a buy. There's, oh, that's Morgan Stanley for a sell. And then some of the other ones, XOM, that's been working, Energy, Morgan here as a sell. So maybe banks on a sell early and maybe tech on a buy. So let's see what happens here and put that bid low for NVIDIA.
Remember, the other thing too is that we talked about a long weekend risk off.
NVIDIA's at 247.
The discussion we were just having in the chat with a couple people that's dead on. Like, remember, risk off also means that shorts can be covering too. Like, overnight risk or over the weekend risk certainly applies to if there's no invasion and you've been shorting the market, maybe you want to take your profits as well. So that works in both directions. You never want to get trapped at the bottom. It's all good to like that direction, but you have to have it out. Speaking of which, I mean, I know the imbalances on the big names came to the upside, but let's go to the 1 minute. But it's been dragging a firm back up too. I'm still going to go to the plan. I got some of the short when it broke 50 out in front of 37. I'm not getting back in until we test that high. So I'm going to be patient off of the open with 90 seconds to go. DraftKings, so not just, I mean, just about everything popped there. I don't think it really, it wasn't just the big names, but DraftKings with a bit of a pop away from that 1750 area. This is not something, the long trade I wanted was off a fail break at 1750. I don't want to be long at $19 on DraftKings, so we'll have to see that one fall back in to get the level we like on DraftKings. I told you guys all about Virgin Galactic. And then there was that QNGY, which was the only one of those crazy runners. It's on the New York, Neil. It was only one of those crazy runners that actually was reasonable to short. It was like 5 cents a share. It's already pulled back. So It put a nice move in, broke 8, which is a recent high. It de-SPAC'd, so $10 would be a level as well. For now, I'm just going to be playing off any pop into 8. If it breaks the high of the day, I wouldn't touch short until it tests $10. And if it breaks 10, it would have to halt at least 2 or 3 times before I'd try again. Just given the history of what these things have done in the last couple of days, when they want to go, they've generally been going, and you can't really stop them. PayPal would be the other one I'm looking at off the open here. If only that 100 level were here right now, we'd be looking at it. I think PayPal's a bit different at 100 than Roku. That's probably a more defensible level than trying to stick a bid in front of Roku. But you have to break the double bottom at 105 first. Yesterday's low, this morning's low as well, 105 on Roku. Miss V is on the bell. She's got the green on. And yeah, the green's really working. If we can end green today, going into this weekend, we'll be pretty happy. But here we go.
Look at the market.
Drop that countdown. 5, 4. It's booming. Those balances did work. 3, 2, and ring it.
All right. Let's go. Welcome to the jungle, guys. Okay, Palantir here, getting ready to open up. We'll see. We're waiting for this to open because I want to see where it goes from here. The market is starting to bounce a little bit higher here, so this could be a play for us coming through. So let's watch out. Palantir, there's a big level at 12. Here comes the back to the downside. We're going to wait for that 1150 or so. Okay, Roku, we just got into a short, so this could be a problem.
That just happened quick.
Yeah, let's watch out for Roku. Just took off to the upside here. A name that we want to hold, but we are waiting out for that. What is that, 1050 or something on the upside? Maybe Roku's too beat down here. Let's wait to see a break of 112, and we'll get out of this Roku trade. I like it to the short side. If I'm going to play something short, it's going to be Roku.
Yeah, I mean, it immediately goes up to 109.50, and then there was a bit of selling going in. So I actually just threw a bid at 107.50, just looking at the chart pretty quickly where I want to be taking some profit. Affirm, which is the other one that I was already into, that actually rolls over at the open. So that looks just fine. Sometimes that's why you want to get in, because I'm waiting at 38 and you don't get it. So I'm not going to be able to get that 38. I knew I forgot something. Captain Hook. You guys are going to remember this one from a couple of days ago. Low chart quickly. 217 up here. That's the level I want to be short in front of. It worked all morning long, day 2 of this mover, and then it broke out late in the day. It held that at the close, so I'm going to be shorting off that level again. If it gets stopped out, I'm risking 5 cents. And there we go. We're going to be out of it. If it breaks higher, 238 to 240. That's another big level on this name.
All right, yeah, Roku going to the upside right now as that's starting to go. We're out $1 right now on this stock, so we got to give this some room. We could have already made the dollar on it as well, so that's something that we're definitely worth watching out here. Look at the market, man. The market is rallying. I don't mind that Palantir if the market rallies over this 1205, so that was a level that we're looking at. I'm already in this Roku short that's not working, so that's going to be a definite problem for me right here. What is NVIDIA doing off this? I didn't expect, I don't think either of us thought this market would be rallying like this. So here goes Roku. It looks like we're going to get out at 112 very, very soon here. Very, very soon as it's starting to rip higher, higher, higher. That's going to be my out. Hopefully that doesn't hit, but it looks like it might. We go one short today, and it happens to be this one. Let's just check out what Roblox is doing.
Roblox it broke that 53 level, so I got it.
This one goes down.
Of course, that's the one that goes down. I just stopped out of Roku because I wanted to get out of that trade. I had my stop level, and I'll hunt back at maybe 115, but I didn't want to hold on to it and get trapped. But the same thing, Roku makes a huge move down. Yeah. I had my stop at 53 pretty much all day long. But let's remember, you don't want to get trapped at the bottom here. So I got some bids in case we snap back down here. But there's no way I want this back through a 53.50. I could get hairy pretty quick. Affirm is still holding below 38, but my second entry is coming pretty fast here. Brendan?
For XPAB, guys.
So we got out of Roku, but then we got back in because I was just wondering if that was the top wick. So we're going to play 1250 there to the downside. So we are back into the short on Roku right now. We did take a long off Roblox off that bottom, so 52.50. If that breaks, we're gone. So, so far in 2 crazy names, but who knows what's going to happen here on both of these. As there goes Roku right back to the downside right now. So let's see if we can get something out back down there near 107 as Roku back in the money now, $1 on the short. We did get blown up to the upside there. So a loss here of about $3.50. So let's see if we can get this back down in one more time, back down to the downside here on that name. So Roku right now, we're trying to get this one to go. Let's see if it can back into the downside now with Roku. Roblox doing nothing. Let's check in on, well, just bouncing around.
It's back and forth, but I actually got a bid in front of that 60 level. I might do it again because it gives crazy action back and forth, 50 cents. Might as well take some out and then see if I can't reload. That 53, it's a multi-day level, so you do want to try to hold on to it to allow this to fall to the downside. Brendan again?
It halts already, guys. ANGH and ISPO almost instantaneously halted to the upside there, 22.40-ish for this one, ANGH.
Wow.
There we go, Roblox.
Yep, Roblox to the downside right here, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go, well, I don't know, we probably hit the exact same key, but it just touched that 50 again. I'm out of half of the trade, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, I need to let this work. Let's see if we can't think about 52 even on Roblox. I got out of Roku, and I'm going to be hating myself for that one, maybe not being a little bit more patient with it.
Maybe not.
We'll see, I don't know. But Affirm, I missed it by 10 cents here, trying to catch that rollover, so I have to cancel that offer. And it looks like that's rolling back toward the low day, but at least we got that Roblox trade going crazy. And look, good luck if you are trading ISPO, is all I have to say. That's not going to be my focus. It's halted to the upside. I can't short it. I'm not paying to short it, so I'm going to be sitting that one out today. If the other one goes, that NG or NRGV, then we'll be fine with that. But Roblox, even Michael Noss was loving this one from Trade Ideas at that 53 level. So let's see if that can continue to the downside. I didn't have a level I liked, shorting the pop, so we had to take it through the bottom. I don't know if you covered Palantir.
Oh no, that's the name I have to look at. Right
it's at 75 right now.
Is it?
It's at 11.75 right now. It tried to go through 12. It failed. It just broke. Oh, it's SSR, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. So it needs to have an uptick. Otherwise, we're not going to get the fill. So short sell restricted, so you can't hit the bid. You actually have to get filled on the uptick, which I obviously just did not do.
Yeah, I just got it right now on the uptick. So let's see where Palantir goes. We're making a lot of money back here on Roku, so that's nice as my charts just aren't working right now. So unfortunately, we have to wait for this to load up. But you might as well go to Neil for right now. I'm pretty useless here. But we are short now, Palantir.
Well, okay, yeah, you got the Palantir, but I don't have it. But
No, I have it. Okay, my charts are now loaded back. So here goes Palantir. We do have that to the downside right now. I mean, we're watching out for Roku here as that's starting to go to the downside as well. One mistake early on that Roku, but now you're seeing where it's coming in. So so far so good on that one. Let's just see if we can capture some profits here at 65. There it is. Okay, on Palantir. So actually we're waiting. Oh, we only got a little fill there. All right, so let's see if it can crack lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
Maybe 65.
Hold on to your
just
short.
wants to hold on to it. There goes Roku to the downside right now. We're still bidding 107. Let's see if that comes through.
You know, like Samuel L. Jackson says, hold on to your butts when they turn that fence on. It's like, look, man, hold on to your shorts. I got shaken out of Roku. At this point, like I just took my last out in Roblox, so we will put the disco ball on because it's a short party. You got to be able to find levels we like. I'm going to hold on to Affirm. I might have missed it, but the entire reason for at least taking a starter position in the pre-market was in case I did not get the rollover. So it's now down through 37. It just bounced off 36.50. So it went $1 in the money. Now we're looking to see if it can just continue because I got no levels for this. It's all-time lows here. 35 is a nice round number, so why not think about that? We did talk about PayPal and 100. I'm not saying it's there yet, but we're battling here at 105. This is still a daily chart. We're battling here at 105. It's been broken and is trying to find a bit of a bottom here on PayPal. So it's making an effort. The NASDAQ just bounced off the low of the day, but yeah, that 100 could come into play if we continue this move down. I'd defend that level because PayPal has been beaten up and it's far enough past the earnings that I think it could be bought. Like I said, I wouldn't defend Roku at 100, but PayPal, I would at least.
Yeah, and that's what I wrote down that on PayPal, 105 breaking. Don't tell me, did it actually break 105? No, not yet. Oh, it did, but came back in. So, okay, let's just watch out. Just so you guys know, there's an out right there for the $3 back there on Roku. So lost on that. We lost more on the move up than we made on the way down. We still got a piece. If this can go back to 104, then we'll probably be close to flat on that. There we go. NVIDIA first spot on the long. What's up, Brendo?
Bitcoin through 40,000 there, guys. So Coinbase had a decent flush down to 188, but starting to bounce already for Coin.
First one of the day for me, bang right now as NVIDIA, we just scalp it out just like we said we want to scalp these levels. So there's a 243.50, go. Now we're $1.20 in the money on this name. Let's go NVIDIA, back up to the upside. We told you the market rips, this is the name that we want. I'm gonna get out of my Palantir right now. It's been a good trade, see ya. And then we're out of Palantir now off a good little level, but right now we're getting jacked up because of NVIDIA starting to go to the upside. There's my Palantir trade out at 69, short 70. 62. Some outs here, 62, 63, and now we're out. Let's see where that goes as we watch NVIDIA try to make moves back up to the upside. Took $1 clean there easily in 1 minute. Now we'll wait to see if it can go even higher. But Brendo again, what's up, big man?
QNGY halted, guys. This is an additional information request. So this is the market, if I can pull that. Oh, it's a NYSE. Anyways, halted for additional information, QNGY.
So that one, I feel like they were the one that had some kind of news to it, but good look there. You always want to know when there's actually something going on as opposed to those other runners which had absolutely nothing. There's another good name here that's, and thank you guys for pointing it out. This CELZ, up 35% today. It just made a break of $2. Again, this for a second time. You're going to see it went parabolic into 235 and already capitulated once. That sets up for an obvious short if it gets anywhere close to those highs. But like I said, hold on to your shorts because Roblox is still falling. I mean, the market's right back toward those lows. I just got 51.50 out. Now I'm just thinking 50 even. You know, the next place I get out of Roblox is going to be at 50 even, or maybe it breaks back up to 53, and I'm thinking reload on this. So it's just a firm in Roblox for me. PayPal's nowhere near an entry point. DWAC, I typed. DWAC it didn't really make, come on, load. It made a pop to 87, but I moved the target range up a little closer to 88 to 90. So once again, for like 5 million days in a row, DWAC at the open pops to 87 and fails, and the first trade is gold. But guess what? Roblox, I don't mind. Firm and Roblox, I'm glad I got these two here today. And as far as longs go, I'm not seeing too much that I like. I remember you mentioned Kraft Heinz, so I might take a quick look at that one.
There's an unlimited buyer rate here on Roku, by the way,
really?
And we're about to get stopped out. Yeah, 1160, unlimited buyer at 1160. Watch. It's going to come down. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at him hold, or her, whoever, algo. It holds 11. Look at this. It holds 1160. Look, it doesn't want to break it. It doesn't want to break 1160. For sure. If it breaks, it's gone. We're short again on this one. How come my short on Roku's not working? There's the reason why. There's a buyer down right here at 1160. That breaks, then we go to the downside. Look, it keeps resisting this. So Roku, a breaker of 1160 there. If we get stopped out, we got to go short. If it breaks 1160 back to the downside. There it goes. There it goes. Yes, go down, baby. Right to the downside there. We just saw that. Let's see. There it goes. Breaker 19 right now to the downside here. We are into Microsoft right now, so we got to watch out. 289 breaks were gone on this one, but we were right on that Roku there, straight to the downside. But we know there's a buyer, so if we can get this piece out at 109, we should do that again. There is a buyer on Roku, and man, Neil, we should have held that short as Palantir still making new lows right now. Damn it, we got rid of that one. We should not have.
Roblox at 51, firm is breaking 36.5, and guess what's up? It's another one of these small ones. Thank you guys for pointing it out. FSRD, this is its daily, absolutely crushed, and in the last few days, but it's halted to the upside, and at least it's early in the move. If you caught this after the first halt, congratulations to you. It's got room to 8 last time I checked. Indicated open is $6 off of 557 halt. So as much as I hate to say it, I mean, the liquidity, 1.8 million shares done, as much as I hate to say this, there might be a long in this one if it can open up and maybe take a 6 break, because then you'd have 557, this current halt price isn't out. So yeah, I mean, I'll check to see how much it costs to short this name, but I'm probably not even thinking about it till $8 or $10, and even then, I'd think twice about it.
All right, Microsoft, in and out as fast as we could there. 40 cents worth of risk there on Microsoft. It breaks through 290. Now it's going to go back up, but we got out of that one. And then the last stance right now for NVIDIA, as that's coming all the way to the downside. So we will pick up some NVIDIA shares down here now and see where that goes. So we'll watch out for NVIDIA. We just picked it up so our average price now 241.50 as we're trying to defend, guys, that 240 area. So if that breaks, we're gone. Easy out for us on NVIDIA. It's been actually a good day because we reloaded some of this here on Roku. I don't know, again, like, where is this going to go? I want to put a bid here at 109, so I'll do it, but I'm surprised at how strong Roku's been in this collapse of the marketplace right now. So that's strange to me a little bit. Palantir, again, short and out too early. 1150 just stood out there, so we'll wait to see if 1150 breaks. We want to try the short there as well. But other than that, man, right now we're just kind of waiting for see something happening. My big position right now, though, is NVIDIA. So let's watch out to see what that does. And there goes Roku right back up to the upside, guys. Now through 113, we just got out. Oh, we still have a little piece here. Roku, very, very strong now, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of, well, I guess not really strong, but bouncing off 100 for now. is Square. So we remember Square off 100 a few weeks ago, or I guess it was probably a few days ago. 112 is the current bottom. I'll take a shot defending this. I thought it'd be PayPal today, to be honest with you, of course, but Square is going to be at 100. It's been good before. You've had to give it some room past that level, so I'd like it closer to 100 so I can at least give it to 99.50. If the market's going to bounce or have any shot, then I want something a little bit higher quality. Worth keeping in mind, they haven't reported yet, so we're actually still waiting for Square to report. Oh, that's close enough. I should be taking 25s if I can. I'm going to get on the bid tighter here. I'm also waiting for that reopen on FSRD. That's a 10-minute halt, it looks like, so we're going to be waiting until about 9:47 for that one to open back up. So obviously, if it doesn't open in 5 minutes, you're looking at a 10-minute halt as that chart just crashed.
Take a sip here. Okay, all right, so we are long Roku again. That was kind of a mistake, so we'll see if that can hold through. We have too many shares there on the punch back through, but we did just take some more shares right here at 113 as it dips down. We'll watch out for this 112. We've just been wrong, man. Short out, short there and out, which was fine. And then now we're waiting for this to get back to the upside. So short there, and then short there and out, and then that short just got out there, and now we'll see if the long can work. But I'm just holding out hope that maybe NVIDIA wants to go. NVIDIA just went to 242, so that was a close out for us. We almost got out there on a 242, so we'll put an offer and see if we can get that one more time. But what's up, Brendo?
Green to red in a hurry here for NVIDIA as well, guys. Huge volume alert went off there at 240. It tested it once already, but green to red in a hurry for some of the chip makers already.
Yeah, it's been one of those mornings. Like I said, I just tried my first long in Square, and I'm holding on to shorts even though they're starting to come back. So we'll see if that gives a bit of a bounce to that. Well, I guess to Square or Block, whichever which we just got into. But what is Roblox? But Roblox just bounced off 51. Remember, I've already scalped out just about everything in this trade, so I see no reason to get aggressive. I'm going to hang on to this one. I want 50s, or I want it coming all the way back to 53. And I have the same feeling about Affirm as well. In this market, like the mistake, we were looking back yesterday, it's like every single short that I took off too early eventually got to the target that I wanted. So I'm going to try to make that not happen here today. Not entirely, yeah, we still have a minute till that FSRD opens back up. I got to confirm, 5 cents a share, that's good enough. We'll go pay for those shorts. But Affirm, for Roblox, I'm holding on to those for dear life. We're giving some room to Square. Just to see if it can bounce. I'll try to scalp them out for $1. And then the other name, which I have not gotten to just yet, is Virgin Galactic. Obviously, I wanted to short a pop in Virgin Galactic. It goes without saying there was no pop. It is now down another 50 cents. So again, this is the reason I got into Affirm early, because sometimes you just have to. It's the only way to get that short.
Yeah, we obviously got thrown around there on Roku as it just took out the bottom again for us, as we were short and then gave it up. And then now you can see where that's going. So yeah, not a good trade here for me on Roku, as we just went back and forth there. So we'll leave that one alone as that's not coming out for us. The big one for me is going to be this. So we're going to have to wait for NVIDIA. This is, again, I'm pretty confident with this. I'm pretty happy with the way this has been trading. So we'll wait to see where it goes. There goes Palantir. We'll see if that wants to flush now to the downside. Like even stupid Microsoft is back up now. Like, come on, man. As that stock's starting to work, and here goes Palantir. We'll take a piece out, I guess, at 44, 45. There it is. This is starting to crash to the downside. So, hey, man, you're right. Let's hold on to some of these shorts and just get paid now for the shorts, as Palantir is starting to drop down a little bit through 50 as well. So just taking out some of these shorts. There goes NVIDIA now, $1 in the money. What's up, Brendo?
Another little one trying to go here. It looks like Amplitude Incorporated up on big volume here through 17, back into some of the range from yesterday late in the day. This had earnings earlier in the week, but relatively small float there as well.
Yeah, look, it's all relative with these, because you get 1 million floats, you get 18 million. That doesn't even really matter. I'm on the offer of Square trying to get that fill. Came really close to that first dollar. FSRD just opened back up. And like when I tell you it was gonzo and it's immediately halting to the upside, just gone. Like it opened above. Remember what I wanted? I wanted a long off 6 that I could use 557 as an out. I can't chase it something like this far. Like either I get along with the risks make sense to me, or I'm just gonna have to sit it out. So that's what we're gonna do. It's halted to the upside here. If you can catch it early, I don't mind longs, but if you got it late, I'm not gonna do it. Just going back over to Square, Block, whatever. Either way, we did get first level, so I'll hit a different one here today. We'll go slap shot because we're still celebrating the wins. I think there was a few other medals there for Canada, not that I watched. But if we can get back to this 103 to 104 channel, I'll be real happy to take that one out. Like, I'm not going to be trying to hold on to any of these longs off the bottom for anything more than, higher probability profits. So we get into the 103.50 range, I'm probably going to take this all out. If it breaks the high of the day, I feel like there's going to be trades to be had, right? Like if we're breaking out at the top, a 105 or something like that, you can always find a consolidation, find a breakout trade. Otherwise, I'm almost thinking about reloading some of the shorts that we have on here as they come back in. Brendan?
Big bounce off 18 there. Huge volume alert, guys, on DraftKings. We had a flush through 18, and then it came right back up the other way. So volume on DKNG.
All right.
Tell me that did not go to.
I don't know what it's doing, but right now we do have, we'll have to look at DraftKings again, obviously. All right, we have the NVIDIA long on this bump up. So we made a little bit of money back for sure on this. Well, not a little bit. We don't have any losers on NVIDIA, but, we made a little bit of our Roku money back right now. So let's wait to see, what does this market want to do? It's a nice move to the downside here, and maybe we should just capture some of this profit here. So let's do that right now on NVIDIA. There it is there for $2. So we just took a $2 winner right there on NVIDIA after taking a 1, and we just be patient, right? Scalp like we talked about, be patient and take that bid. Brendo again.
Here goes another one. Genesis Holdings in New York. Maybe the flavor of the day here. Not a red candle yet, from 3 up to 5 here for GLS.
What's going
on? So just to update that FSRD, it was $12 that it was indicating an open. Now it's indicating a $9 open. These are all over the place, man. I don't know. There's a limit to how many that can even look at one time. So I'm probably not going to be paying too much attention to them unless I find it really good on a one-off. DraftKings tested the low of the day, but not 17.5. So thankfully, we did not miss that trade. As Square rockets the upside, that's now almost a couple of bucks in the money here. But guess what's come right back to our level? So I said I wanted to hold on and then find a reload. Now we are looking at a ridiculous V-shaped bottom, but we're not trapped at the low of the day here. We actually have a good price short, and we can start to use these levels to our advantage. So I'm going to jump back into Affirm. If we can get closer, of course I want like 37.80. It's about 37.5. I want to be patient with this. We already have some on board, so we don't have to jump back in too early. So I don't want to fight it. Roblox is doing a very similar thing. It gave you that move all the way down to 51. We've captured a bunch of that as well. So I'm looking for that roll back to the key $53 level. At this point, you don't want to throw the money away, but looking for a reload still makes some sense to me. Put a portion of what you made back on the line here around that 53. So I'm going to get on the offer here of Roblox. I got to start thinking about where I want that out in Square because you can't get too picky. I wanted it 103 to 104, but if it stalls out in front of 103, I should probably just bank the $2.50. So got to watch this one for taking profit. My first look here is to get out of the longs for profit and start thinking about going back into the shorts. Let these things break highs, then I'll believe the shorts are wrong.
Yep, yeah, that's a way of definitely looking at it. I'm just pissed off now because Roblox is right back to where we had it, man, at 51 touched. Perfect long there, and I wasn't even looking at it, so that's upsetting to me right there. Roku, of course, just bouncing around. This is my only negative stock today. Microsoft also, which again makes me sick as we defend the 290. It breaks off the open. No, a monster move down. We take a 40-cent hit, and now it's $1.70 in the money. So whatever, Microsoft, do you. But I'll be back with Microsoft. Right now, NVIDIA goes to 244. We should have been sitting up there. Let's sit at 245 right here, 244. Even if we get a 244 print on NVIDIA, it should be good for us here as we do have now $2.50 in the money. So, if the market wants to go, great. I think we have some of these names now. Palantir, positive name for us, but we did hit that short, took it down. Short once, short twice, all winners, except we did take it out there for 2-penny loss at 51, part of the trade. We'll see if that wants to bounce around right now. But other than that, man, it's been a nice little run back upside for us, despite our Roku trading. DraftKings is one that now Roku's back up, like as if, man. This has just been a frustrating day a little bit anyways for some of these names. DraftKings back to the upside. Maybe we short this top if it comes back in, but is this a rally day that we're trying to have right now? A nice move up on the NASDAQ. Hard to build shorts when you're seeing this momentum right now. So let's just let it pan out. We have our trades on. We have $3 in the money right here with NVIDIA, and we're pretty happy with that trade. So let's just play this for now and see where we go.
So I just ranked the register fully on the one long I had. That's going to be Square. It's slowed down at the price I like, but as that's happening, look, Affirm's it's gonna take that top. So I needed it to take the top for confirmation. I just jumped into the short, but if I make the top wick here, so it broke out that high, breaks it convincingly up to 38.20. If it's a top wick and comes back down below 38, to me, that's just going to be a re-entry point to jump back into the short side of the trade. And then it's a similar thing with Roblox. Give it to about like 53.25. If it's going to move $2 down, I got to give it some room back into the upside reloading. Not for as many shares as the first time because, again, the second time you go through a level, you can't like it as well. I shouldn't say you can't like it as much. I should say I don't like it as much the second time through, so always for a few less shares. PayPal is breaking out through that high, so it doesn't even get to that 100 level. So PayPal gets very spicy here if we're making a bit of a low. I would just caution, watch 108 on PayPal. I think it could have a little bit of chop at that price range. And then the last one I'll get to was Palantir. I don't know where that 1175 went to because I didn't get that short. Looks like 1141. It's still below that 1175. So relative weakness in Palantir, which means that 1175 level is still good for a short.
What's up, Brendo?
Another one looking pretty good, guys, after a rough week. Shopify went red to green there, right off the bat as well, back up into, the range from yesterday. But good look so far for Shop.
As we're ringing the Reggie one more time, so let's go cha-ching on this one. We'll go, oh my God. NVIDIA, my best trade yesterday, it looks like it's going to be the best one again today here. $3.50 out or $4 there. What's this? $240.80 out, $244.30, so $3.80 there on the high side of this beast as NVIDIA is starting to go back up to the upside. So yeah, I'm happy, definitely happy with that trade as we're almost out of it all right now. So nothing to complain about for me on NVIDIA's side of things, but so far so good. As we notice, things starting to rock and roll here for us. So we're pretty happy with this movement here. The only mistake, obviously, early on was that Roku trade. And if I don't have that, then this is a monster day. And if we don't get out of this is our ifs and buts, candies and nuts, but right down there, 290. Damn it, man. We put that on. And if you're looking at the sticky note today, I mean, it wins again. And I want to say thanks to Krishna for telling me that, hey, dude, just stick with what you're saying. Like, scalp off 290. I don't know what else I could do there. Now it's up in the money, $2, and I gave it like almost nothing. I got out almost immediately when it broke, so didn't give that one enough space. Obviously a bad trade there for your boy, but here we go. We're just going to watch our NVIDIA go, and then Roblox probably higher than where we had it, close enough anyways, 53. This one might be turning around right now, Roblox.
Yeah, 53.
Roblox.
Yeah, the difference between Roblox to me, 53, and Affirm, why I'm out of Affirm and not really aggressive trying to get back in, but Roblox, we reloaded and are holding it, is Roblox, that's just a monster. That's just a monster level on the daily, and you're breaking it first time today into new territory. So I like it much better. Back up at 38 is above Affirm's high. Hook was the other one I was talking about. Sells was a big level, but Hook had that big level at 240. That's where we had the one short in front of the previous low. I should go to the 15 so you can see this a little bit better. That was that previous high. This is that monstrous level up here at 240. That's a biggie. We're going to be all over this one. If we have any kind of a slow turn, 239 current high of the day, I'd give the stop to 240 because I like the round number a bit better. But yeah, time to get back in the Hook. You only play the key levels. The only mistake, I didn't reverse the trade. I reversed it 2 days ago. I did not reverse it today. You can see the end result.
Okay, I don't know, man. We're cooking with gas right now, guys, on all these positions. But let's look at DraftKings one more time because I'm just trying to stick with like names that have been on our list. DraftKings, yeah, it does bounce off that. This also might be a short, but let's go back over to Brendo as NVIDIA, $4 in the money as well.
New bank, guys, new holdings. Just double checking when February 22nd. So next week earnings for this, but this one on a tear today too, up 12% on monster volume.
And you remember that one?
That was another one. Yeah. That was the Warren Buffett crypto, South American bank, similar to SoFi, they said back in the day. So let's check out SoFi though quickly because that brings me to another name that should be moving when the market does these kind of dances like this. Yeah, there it is, a nice little move back upside for SoFi as well today, but still nowhere near where it needs to be at an investable level. But you are at some nice levels here of 12, so this is another key spot right there for SoFi. So it does dig a dip down here today. I actually don't mind shorting this if it comes back in, guys. I hate to say that because I know a lot of people have SoFi, but I'm going to try a short of 1190 if it does come back here. 1190 short on SoFi, guys.
And we go back to the well, and it's going to be another slap shot. It's only in virtual world that I can actually hit a shot. I'm horrible when it comes to hockey. I can't even skate. Bad Canadian. But Roblox back to VWAP. So we reload this one back at 53. And again, what I was getting at is it's just way too key of a level to give up on it too early. So if we rotate back to the downside, I'm not thinking 50 anymore. I'd be thinking low of the day with the rinse and repeat action. So stick with the trend. Right now, the trend is your friend. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest out. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest out in Square because it did enter that 103 range. Maybe would have given you an extra 50 cents, but there comes that curl back into the downside. Worth noting, that big move that we had up in the market, like that was big tech driving it, right? Like that was your Microsoft, your Apples. I think NVIDIA made some good moves there. Some of these other weaker names, they didn't break out through some of those highs, but the one we did talk about, PayPal, came pretty darn close to sustaining a break through the high of the day. So I'm kind of looking at that as relatively strong still. I don't have a long entry on it yet. I think maybe if it can hold a higher low, get a nice wedge going, then you could have a potential breakout. But until then, I'm going to stick to what's working. I did get a new position. I told you guys that hook off of 240. That was the level on the 15-minute chart from 2 days ago. We grabbed the short on the first real consolidation. That's at 34, so risking about 6 cents. I do want to add to this. I was kind of thinking I might get something closer to 38, 39, but I'd add to it at 35 if that's the best that I can get, maybe even 34 again. So I'm going to pop on the offer on hook. If it falls back down, 217 where it was a breakout, that's the obvious area I want to be out in front.
All right, so we're short Palantir against this 1160. What is this here? Against view up where we just missed it. 11. Let's go to 1171 or so. We'll average into this Palantir trade. And look, if it goes against us up to the upside, then that's what it is at this point. We'll just wait to see what it does, though. 1171 target out for Palantir on this short. We will average into it. So again, like, I don't know. We'll wait to see. Hopefully, we're going to be right on this as we're short Palantir right now. We're long NVIDIA. That's $3 in the money. We've already cashed out a decent amount, or all of it almost, pretty much 25, 50, 75. We still have a quarter of this position left on for NVIDIA, and that's working. Roku's been my shoot stock of the day here today because we were short, out a little bit. Then we went long and got out there. So we're just 0 for 2 on this stock. The short didn't work. We got out, took the long, didn't work. And then obviously, I didn't think Roku would honestly be stuck in like a $3 or $4 range here off open. That was definitely something that's surprising to me. That PayPal is resisting, Neil, that 105. I know you're into Square already.
I'm already out of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, in and out of Square. I'm thinking the same thing here for PayPal. However, I want to see what this market's going to do. We are above the 50 period, but I really don't believe in the long. Although I'm holding this NVIDIA shares. Let's get out Palantir as it just tanked for some reason there. So a nice little trade here on PLTR off that reload. So here we go. Nice short on Palantir. If we can get that fixed, that'd be great. And then there it is. This is what the problem is when you're in a studio, baby. And Greg's trying to load up some Pokemon videos over there or something, and having a little bit of a bad reaction to that. There we go. Let's go, Palantir. Bang, as Palantir goes to the downside. And we finally hold. Sorry about this, Henry, but your boy makes money, trying to make money here today. We're going to short Palantir and just keep getting out. Boom, 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 goes the dynamite to the downside. Let's go, Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir's showing that relative weakness. That hook broke the top. I actually rolled into an accidental long, so I added to my shares and then misread my stop order, so I just paid the spread to get back out of it. Didn't really want that long. As that continues to roll over a little bit here, Roblox just broke 52, so it's screaming to the downside. I thought there was some relative strength in PayPal, so I was looking for a long there, and watch Square just absolutely make a right turn below VWAP. I'm going to hold off on thinking about a long in PayPal while we're doing this in the market. All I got left on is, of course, that Roblox short. We were talking a little bit about DWAC, but we can go to Brendan at the big screen for happening now.
Ooh.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, choppy start for markets here. Here we go, positive, which is the good part. 0.23 to the upside for the S&P, the Dow red, the NASDAQ about the same to the upside. TSX here in Toronto positive as well. You can see crude trying to bounce, but not having much success yet. 1.6 still. It was down more than 2% when you joined us this morning. A few things we mentioned in the pre-market here. Alibaba was one of those. We were looking at some of those Chinese stocks. On that note, they were added to the notorious market list yesterday in the U.S. DWAC after the dump yesterday, and then Intel on a note from their CEO at Investor Day as well. All, guys, yeah, it's been a tough day so far. Back over to you.
I was just going to
remember the Alibaba story, by the way? Baba tried to pop. Baba's back to low of the day. PayPal was just about to break out. Then it hit the low of the day as well. So, I mean, this market is trippy. I got stopped out of a firm at the high after the good short initially, and that's heading back to the downside. So hold on to your shorts, man. I think I'm getting Roblox 50s. I'm now looking Alibaba 118. If this, look, it does this and breaks the low forget it, man. Forget about fighting the trend or anything like that. There's room. This is your daily chart support at 110 on Alibaba. This is breaking into new territory. I'm taking a 118 short. Sometimes you got to be willing to go short at the bottom if the market wants to do stuff like this.
Yep.
Like, you can be breaking a 118 bottom on Alibaba, and NASDAQ isn't even on the low of the day. So I know relative weakness when I see it. I'll take my shot here. I should never have got out enough firm.
Shots. Everybody. We go short on SoFi as well here. Yeah, get that little John action there as you pound those shots back this week. A lot of us might be needing some shots because this has been a crazy day for me. I mean, I cannot believe the amount of money I lost on Roku, considering that I like the short on this name, and here it comes back in. But you know what? We make it all back on the stock that I absolutely hate to short, but there's Palantir, man. Like, short here, bang, short here, bang, short, bang, as I keep on coming down, and there it is for us again. And so we're just gonna be really happy with that as we stack in some money on the short side. I hate to do it because I know a lot of us are long side traders, but there are people that are short today as well. And yeah, let's smash that like button, guys. If you can do that, hit the like button. We'll get Ms. V on soon to make that even juicier for you. There goes SoFi down to the downside. Hit the like button if you can, guys. A lot of people watching, a lot of big trades happening right now for us. Palantir back down to 52-week lows of 1170 now broken. SoFi took a little bit out there at 87. Not great. Our out's 12, in case you're wondering, but we do have some downside pressure there as well. And there goes Palantir again to the downside. SoFi just got hit out nicely on SoFi. We just talked 85s there on SoFi, or 86s. One more thing, Neil. I want to talk about NVIDIA quickly because we're getting ready to, okay. Hold on a second. We are soon. NVIDIA all the way back down, man. We're back down to 240, Neil. Disgusting movement here in the market today if you're long, but giving some opportunities if you find some levels. Let's wait a little lower for this NVIDIA trade to come down to 240.40 or so. That's where my bid is.
If you're in the money on your shorts, hold on to them. Alan Atkins has it right. I believe in this market about as much as wearing pork chop underwear in a Joe Exotic tiger cage. I haven't even seen those, and I understand that's probably a bad idea. You don't want to get eaten alive.
I think he's just joking about that.
I know he's joking about it. But like GLS, man, these stocks, they're insane. This is what we talk about for rug pulls and why you take profit on the way up and don't pray that you're going to get a 100% winner. It runs to $5, halts, and then comes back down to $3.50. That's just 30% evaporated in a matter of a couple of minutes if you try to be a hero about something like that. So don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Take your profit and run. No one ever went broke. Who cares if you only make 20% in a trade and it goes 100%? As if you knew it was going 100%. So the rinse and repeat on Roblox, I'm holding this at least to the low of the day, and then I can make a call. If it's looking like it's making a good bottom, I'll get out of it. I'll revisit a long and square. Like, I know NVIDIA got to your level. Block, square, whatever, did not get there. We're holding 101 for now. I'm looking at 100, shoot 100, and that's going to be it. Firm, not going to be happy with it. Of course, made the good decision to get into it early. I wanted 35s and went to 36 and bounced, and then got stopped out short in the top, only to watch it pull a VWAP retracement. So I kind of already know what's going to be my annoying trade of the day. It's going to be short of firm somehow. We forgot all about DoorDash. DoorDash is actually showing some signs of a bounce here. It bounced off 100 twice. Now it's setting up for a breakout. You know, they got absolutely shellacked yesterday, but there was a good long off of 108. So what I'm thinking here, we can hold 100 again. We have a decent shot to catch a 100 to like a 105, 106. And a 106 breakout, I think that's pretty clean of the levels we were looking at yesterday. Like on our bounce, we're playing it to 110 and to 112. So if there's something that's going to make a break, it might be that DoorDash, which is like PayPal was, showing some signs of strength. I'm going short Alibaba through 118, and we mentioned that. It's still bouncing around. Otherwise, Roblox, low of the day. Didn't take very long.
No, it's not taking very long for any of these stocks, man, to get back to these lows as the market just continues to make some new lows now. Not new lows, sorry, breaking below that 50-period average that I'm looking at anyways. And yeah, it's not good, man. It's nasty, to be honest with you. Okay, there's NVIDIA in and out just as fast as we could there. And we'll do that. I mean, we'll say the bubble popped on that trade because we were nicely long. NVIDIA is still a nice name for us today. Obviously, we're up on that, but you can see there as it's cracking a little bit lower there, NVIDIA now starting to go to the downside. downside. So watch out below now for that name as it's starting to get lower and lower here. We are out of that. So just cancel everything that we were doing before. Look at SoFi, another name back down to 80. Like, let's go. Oh my God. As we short that name, hopefully downside here for SoFi. And again, just another name that it's not like we're like proud of shorting any of these names or anything. It's just you got to sometimes pick weak names, and SoFi was it today. So we'll take that to the short side now and see where we go from there. But right now, SoFi downside. Palantir, 37 cents in the money and still making new lows. Man, I wish we had held this. But, you know, as I trade Palantir, machine gun style, not working out today because the bid just not there on PLTR. We're short 65s, 40 cents in the money on Palantir, a dime in the money on SoFi. Everything else, we're just waiting for something to happen here as the market continues to crash lower. DraftKings, Neil, where is that? Is that at 17 yet? Yeah, trying to take new lows as well on DraftKings. So watch out, man. The market's only down 0.2, and it feels like it's a lot worse. Brendo?
Some retailers having a pretty good day here, guys, ahead of the long weekend, maybe. Macy's, I just saw at day highs, up nearly 5%. So there is some positivity if you find it.
So I was trying to, there we go. I just got into Alibaba, almost perfect timing. I got to fill in Alibaba short breaking 118 just as Brendan finished talking there. And then DraftKings, it's still not at that 17.5. Now this has changed completely from this morning, right? We're looking for a dip at the open where it would resist that level and snap back to the upside. At this point, you've actually made a bit of a consolidation higher, so I wouldn't be as aggressive to that long. In fact, it's a bit more dangerous to take that long trade. Just got into BOVESPA, so we'll go over the plan of action here. You have a pretty clear defined range at the bottom. It's almost like got to give it back into 119 to prove this one's wrong because there's just so much room. On your 15-minute, this is what we're looking at. You've already broken this 119 level. That's why I want to give it back to 119. First stop at like 116.50 on a gap fill here. That's $1.50 away. So you got to be willing to give this one a buck because there's some room for us to capture a lot more than that. And yeah, that QNGY, that was a rug pull as well. So be careful. Square. I mean, the last thing I'm looking to go long off the bottom again, and it's right back at 100. That did not take very long, man. These things are going up and down through the range in a matter of minutes. There's lots of trades to be had, but make sure you get it at your level. No point chasing any of these moves. Like if you miss your level, it might be right back there in 10 or 15 minutes. That's what happened here in Square. It's going to pop back on the bid in front of $100. Let's see if it'll hold a second time. PayPal, by the way, yeah, I'm going to wait for that one to maybe break the low of the day before trying another move.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, SoFi, we did get a nice win there. It goes to 80, but then it kind of stops there. So let's see if we could take a little bit more out here, as it seems like SoFi might be a little strong. We'll see if we get an 86. There it is on that print. So a little bit of an 86 there. We have some more bids down to the downside. We did clean out of our Palantir. Not clean out of it, but we only have now about 15% left on this trade. So Palantir still have some on as this name just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. I think we can try a shot at 11 flat, but honestly, until that comes through, no idea. Just checking back on our NVIDIA, that did retake 240 right now. So maybe there's a prayer here, and you go long off of that 239 bottom, but the market's still below the 50 period. So I'm gonna do a hard pass on that one and throw it over to the girl in the green today. What's up, Miss V?
Hey guys, what a busy morning. I hope you're all having fun and remind you to like this video. We are here for you every day, no matter what. And all we ask for is a like. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Ms. V. And one of the reasons we love you guys just as much is, yeah, you're going to point out a strong name today, and we're going to be happy that you did. My chart's going to hate me. It's not loading. But Cisco, up on the day, at least for now. They had good earnings. My 15 won't load either. But the key thing for me here, at least on the daily chart, is you're trying to hold 56 above the 200-period moving average. So when you find buyers at levels like this, that can be a good sign. It's having some trouble holding its head above that level. But, hey, there is room, at least $1 to $2 to that upside in the event that we can hold above 56. So any buying at that price is going to stand out. You can see how strong it was the last couple of sessions and a good earnings report. So if you're buying things, make sure, A, they reported, B, they reported well. I thought I was going to get that block. I don't know why we didn't get that fill down there on block. Oh, yeah, because we missed by about like 10 or 15 cents. So maybe we'll be a little bit more aggressive. Last time I think I had to buy 130 instead of 120, so I might just do the same thing one more time here. You don't want to look. You don't want to miss the trade by 10 cents. That's a little bit ridiculous. So we'll jump on the bid a little bit more aggressively on Square. See if we can't get that long trade. And yeah, like I said, hold on to your shorts. I know it's decision time on Roblox here. The market's headed back to that low of the day. If the NASDAQ bounces, then I want to take this profit. So as the market gets to the low, I'm going in the long at square, which gave you that bounce last time, and then I got to make a decision on the Roblox short. So if you're short, it should be deep in the money, not shorting necessarily these lows of the day. And if you're looking for a long, it should be off of a good level. That's why I'm taking 100 on square.
Yep, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we're talking about, is finding those key levels, right? I mean, Palantir is screaming to one right now. We talked about going short this day all day. That's all that we've been doing. My number one stock easily today on this one, because we don't have too much else. We have Nvidia's been nice. Microsoft's been nice. As Microsoft right now back to 290. This is probably worth taking right now. What the hell am I even doing not taking this? Microsoft back up to the upside. Let's try it right now. Oops. Oh my God, did you guys just buy ahead of me there? Okay, there it is, back in. So there it is. We're now long off that dip back in here on our boy Microsoft. So let's see if it can hold these bottoms. And again, 289.50, we're gone. We're not going to give this one too much room. So 289.50, we're gone on Softy. Let's see if it does have some room back up to the upside. SoFi, the short really hasn't been working, so every time it comes down here to 80, we're getting out. We'll take 9 cents on this trade all day. So SoFi, hopefully to the downside. I'm keeping some bullets for this 1160, so let's see if that comes through.
Absolutely, and just back to some other names that we haven't maybe talked about in a little bit, that CELZ. I know I talked about saying look for a rollover in this trade if it retests the high. Well, sometimes it doesn't retest the high. It just decide to give everything back. It doesn't always get to your target, but you got to stick to your rules. I didn't want to chase it. I wanted a short that I could manage. I wanted about 10 cents worth of risk. That meant 224, 225. You're going to see it's a 50-cent win, so maybe I should have been more aggressive with it. But follow your rules. That's the way to go. Brendo?
I mentioned this Bloomin' Brands in the pre-market almost in passing after a positive earnings report here this morning. Been a slow grind, but nicely positive here for BLMN, guys.
Oh, so we'll take a hit on a short. It's going to happen. Does this one still work? Oh, no. I know what has to happen.
What?
That shot only works when it's like on like your head's in the middle. I don't know. Use the one where it's like the cartoon one where you got like smacked down. Eventually, I was going to take a hit on the short. And it looks like it might be Alibaba here just breaking back out to the upside. The good thing about it is we're still near those lows on Roblox. And because we're able to pick up Square again off that 100 low, that's about $1 in the money. I'm going to go to the same well. And if anything, the second time through, I should be a little bit more aggressive in where we take our outs, right? It's still a downward trend. So I know it's going into 101 here. I know it's only about 70 to 80 cents for the first out, and then you're probably looking to get some out here at like 102, 103 again, but not all the way to 103.50. As far as I'm concerned, it's still in a bit of a downward trend of the market. It feels weaker than it is strong, and I want to make sure I'm banking profits longs all the way. And I'm fighting the urge to jump into too many other symbols. Square's working off $100 here. You know, Roblox has worked. I liked BABA from the morning, so I'll take that shot just about every single time. And by the way, PayPal was the other one that we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching for some strength. You could take a double bottom on PayPal randomly at 104.50. The same trade at Square is 100. I think it's obvious which one I'd rather play. They both would have worked for you, but I think looking at a 100 level psychologically, to me, it's just easier to stick to your stop. That's why we chose it, but PayPal, pretty much the same chart.
All right, and you getting ready for it? Bang, right here for Softy. Look what happens when we go into Mr. Softy. One more time to the upside. Nice move here. I told you, I was like, what am I doing not taking this trade on Mr. Softy? It's now up in the money, $1.20 now. And let's take a piece out. There it is, bang. Ring the Reggie on that one again, guys, for that. So let's go. There it is, a nice trade for Softy. Boom. Off those key levels, baby. 290. We screwed up last time. Nepa this time as we come back inside there for Microsoft. I don't care now. We'll wait for it to come back in. And then guess what? We'll reload it if it comes back down into that level. So we'll wait for that for Mr. Softy to come back in. Hopefully.
Bye-bye Roblox.
Bye-bye Roblox. Through 50?
It just tanked through 51 all the way to 50.27.
Yep.
So it's over. That is a fail for the stock today.
Look at the market.
Look, the 53 break. You had us telling you 53 break. I think we even mentioned it yesterday. And then even Michael Noss came through and showed you other reasons that break was so significant. And the market trying to track back into the downside. That probably means that I got to start thinking about what can I do with that Square trade. I got the first leg out here, so it'll be profitable, but I'm tightening up my stop. Before I was actually willing to give it some room below 100, not doing it. It breaks 100. I'm just out of this thing if it breaks 100. I'm not even thinking about giving an extra 20 or 30 cents. At that point, I could just be losing extra money. And I knew there was something I was forgetting here today. You can't look at a day like this with the volatility that we've had on and not at least have a check back in on what Tesla is doing. Any stock that's a $1 trillion kind of company that moves usually like Tesla can, I want to see. If the bottom breaks out on something large, that can be the floodgates opening up. And to me, that would be that 850 level on the 15-minute. Yeah, here's your 850 level. If that gets taken out, watch out for this market if Tesla breaks that. As far as Roblox, I mean, I wanted to hold right to 50 even. 50.27 isn't enough for me. I want to see it really test that level.
All right, so we'll go back. Oh, that was a keystroke error there. Okay, we got in and out of Roku there. We didn't mean to do that. We had an order that was pending there. Back down. You remember when I was short and I wanted to get long 108? Yeah, you remember that? That was good. So not good. Just joking right there. Look at Palantir, man. So we're out of Palantir, but it just crashed pretty low, man. It's right down now to 12. We were short the whole day. Bang, bang, big time wins. Our best out is 18. We didn't hold it all the way down, but we want to reload here. So now we're not reloaded. We're going the other way. As they say right now on Palantir. So we'll go long against 11. Let's just check on size. Size is not going to matter. I just want to see if there's some there. There is some there at 11. You can see here. I'll pull it down for you. Nah, it's hard to see. Well, it'll come through in a minute. There is size at 11. When that breaks, we're going to get out of this trade for Palantir as the market just keeps on going lower, lower, lower right now. Roku, I just want to honestly, can't believe I was short this. Just hold, man. I could have held this all the way down. That's a mistake, obviously, through and through. Microsoft, great outs for Microsoft, man. Sometimes, although the stock is flushing right now and the market is flushing, Microsoft down there, man. Take the profit when you get back to these 50 periods. That's what we did. Hold 1/3 of it to see if we get that moon. Doesn't happen. We are ready for the reload now on Softy. Look at SoFi. We talked about this one. Yes, sir. We roll the dice and try to hold something for lower on SoFi. That comes through as well. Let's just put a bid right now. Take that 75. There it is, out on 75 now on SoFi as it just cranks right through that. So watch out here as the market's going to the downside. We got SoFi short, but we do have the boy Palantir long. So this is a temporary problem for us, but nothing that the market can't fix.
Don't forget, DraftKings just broke out $18. It's headed to its low. Brennan's at the big screen. There's also some small caps moving a little bit. Let's see what's up.
Finally, some small caps moving, guys. It's been such a quiet year so far for these. NRGV, we saw all those ones yesterday we talked about this morning, not doing anywhere near as much volume. But a new list shows up today, including this one, NRGV. I really liked, I stood here before the open and said, it's going to be all about the volume. How is it trading at the open? They could not lift any offers as soon as the market opened. It was all sell. So 18 to 19 was that range I mentioned. We were talking about it up here. So once it got below 19, started to hold 19. That was enough for me. We're at day lows now at 13 for this one, guys. NRGV. QNGY, I really like this one as well. Back below this 725, which was a little bit of support. A huge flush came in. Lots of sell volume as well to the downside. That was enough for me. This thing's down at $4 now for QNGY. Huge range on all of these, except this one, NVCT, not doing anything. Again, some of the ones that were big movers yesterday, no volume today. So stuck in a range here for NVCT. Guys, back over to you.
There, Brennan. So look, there's so many of these names moving. I get it, man. I know these small caps are going crazy, but you almost have to pick your lane on days like today. That's why I'm focusing on a few. I'm not saying Roblox made a bottom, holding on to my short here. I've said you got to find some shorts to hold on to and see how far they can go. But it made a big volume wick down. Ignore the one to the upside. The one to the downside's real because you can see the volume spike. Down to 50.27 and then just came back up. A retest holding 50. And I might decide we need to get out of this one altogether. We talked about DraftKings, still has not broken the low of the day, but Square, I did not reverse into the short. Actually, well, I had a stop that I got in and out of. That was a stop for a long. I had adjusted to 100, and of course, still had my other stop in there, so I got in and out flat. But I gave it up at $100, and maybe it should have been a short at 100. You're seeing capitulation to the downside in a lot of names. The market retesting some of those lows. I was asked this morning, NVIDIA, there's nothing wrong about the company. The report was great. Someone said this morning, where did I like NVIDIA, or where did I think maybe it was going to be a bit of a long? And I kind of threw out there, I didn't feel all that good about it till the 230s. Well, We're in the 230s.
Yep.
This is the last week's low here, down at like 230, 220. So it gets to that price and bounces in this range. That's where I'll look to grab a bit of a long position. I've been sitting it out, trying to square long.
By the way.
And Palantir broke as well?
Yeah.
11?
I can't believe we're not short Palantir. I mean, we were short and we got out and we just took a 7 cent loss on the long. But wow, I cannot believe that I dumped this Palantir. Look at this thing. This thing is garbage. Straight hot fire to the downside today. The last couple of days, man. If you just report, it's kind of like this Roku trade that we were talking about. Like, you're going to report on something, you should just hold that damn short. Like, I'm short here on Roku. It's unbelievable. Like, this frustrating stock of the day thing, I'm glad we sort of thought of that because, yeah, I'm starting to get pretty pissed off on a lot of these names. But here goes NVIDIA, and I'm just more on myself. Let's see if we can take a piece out here on NVIDIA as we try to respect, there it is, one piece out, as we try to respect that 235 bottom. And I said that if there was any sort of carnage today, you just mentioned NVIDIA, but if there was any sort of carnage, I wanted to get this name long in case there was that move back to the upside, because this is a name that I love, and I just, you know, want to be long this name if the market battles back. But as you could see yesterday, they miss on earnings, or did they? They miss on earnings. The market gives the finger to it, as we saw on our meme. But we'll wait to see if it breaks through 235. We're gone. A quick little take, though. They're out for 50 cents. Let's see if it goes a little bit higher here on NVIDIA.
So, yeah, we're retesting that low on Roblox. So just managing this trade because I don't want to give everything back on that 53 short. And that was a big volume event wick down. A lot of times that can signal a bit of a turn. So if it puts in a higher low, that can be a definite reason to try to get out of this. Look, if it wasn't deep in the money, I wouldn't be thinking about that. But at this point, you just want to capture that profit. NVIDIA is getting close to me for the levels that I would like to buy. And I'm just kicking myself. Like 100 on Square, why not just short the bloody level?
Yep.
It's like, get out. So now at 99 bucks, like, give me a break. So I'm starting to I mean, I've already said I'm rethinking DraftKings here because it's like you're not testing that 17.5. You're bouncing off of 1780 over and over again. That's where the support and buying has come in. If you break that and get to 1750, forget about it. 1750 turns into a short trade because the long where you wanted it is support higher, and you can't ignore something like that. We're not getting support at 1750. We're seeing it at 1780. That goes. Going to have to short 1750 on DraftKings and adjust that plan. I mentioned waiting around for NVIDIA, so about $1 away from maybe thinking about that long trade. And you talk about frustration, like I'm very frustrated with myself on a firm. That was the first short I had. You're going to see that fall back down towards those lows, and I got stopped out on our re-entry on a firm. Not top wick, but it's close enough to be embarrassed about. And yeah, if you want to check back in on some of those other names, fine. ISPO, we're like, take your profit and run. Back at $60. This one it had no give in it, and if it wasn't so expensive to short, I probably would have been in this one today. But I'm sure a lot of these other names are doing a similar thing too, so you got to be very careful trading all of them. And I promised I would have another look at DWAC, which is still on the NASDAQ. So as usual, goes to 87, flushes, goes to 86, flushes. So I'm not chasing this. I don't think it's a long until it gets 78 to 80 or so. But yeah, that short as well. If you got anything to the short side, you had to hold something. It doesn't matter what it was. If it was in the money, hold it. If it's Palantir, hold it. If it's DWAC, hold it. If it's Square, hold it. If it's who cares? It doesn't really matter. There's no sign. Yeah, SoFi. It doesn't matter. This is what the market's doing here today. You just broke the low of the day. You got last week's bottom, or I guess this week's bottom. 14,000 is within spitting distance at this point. So let's see what happens if it gets back down to that price. If the market gets there and wants to bounce, fair enough. Then we can start thinking about this market making a bit of a turn. DraftKings at least, man. At least DraftKings is holding a bit of a bid. It's not where I expected, but credit to DraftKings. 1780 is holding like a champ.
Oh, man. So this is why you take some out, man, of NVIDIA. Like, we took out one for 80 cents, or sorry, one for 60 cents, one for 80 cents here on this reload back down here at 235.50. It comes back in and tests again, and we sit on the bid one more time to see if we can get that. Obviously, a break of 235, and we're gone on that one. But let's see if it wants to make moves back up to the upside. So that's not a new position, but it's one that we're trying to defend again. I think there's potential here. It's just obviously the NASDAQ needs to go. All right, there's $1 right there on NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Microsoft, again, let's just keep on waiting for that. We told you we would reload this. Now it's going back up to the upside. This is a 50-cent winner. Come on, NVIDIA, let's go. NVIDIA now starting to go back up. We'll wait to see if we can get a 240 print on this name. There goes SoFi as well, 17 cents in the money. I think this is probably worth taking as we're down near these day lows. But we said we'd try to hold on to some shorts, so maybe we'll do it on this one. And we'll watch out for NVIDIA trying to go again back up. And there goes NVIDIA now $1, 236.50. Let's see maybe a 239 print. We've wicked up there a couple times. That's my target here, 239 for NVIDIA.
Oh, and yeah, I did forget about Virgin Galactic as well. That actually popped back to $9. If it gets there again, maybe worth a trade. Triple bottom at $8.50 on Virgin Galactic. So if that one goes, there's some room to $8. That definitely, like, the floodgates could open up on Virgin Galactic. And we talked about Tesla rightfully being pointed out to me that Tesla is testing that 850. That's the kind of thing, like the market's testing the lows. Tesla could break that 850. I just saw Roblox retest the low of the day. They're getting down to $50. Square's trying to hold 100. I mean, PayPal, when you get a convergence of this many names at key prices, PayPal just breaking 105 again and trying to test that low, this is where the acceleration could start to come in. NVIDIA is at a key target range, 232 to 235. You get too many of those at the same time and they all break, that's when the futures might take a run at that 14,000. Your relative strength was in Cisco, as you guys were pointing out. Guess what? Still trying to break out off that 200 period moving average. So this looks pretty good. I wish I'd just gone long. Like when that got mentioned, I should have just punched long and been like, relatively strong, 200 period moving average, just go long off of 56 there. So shout out, and I apologize for missing the name who got it in the chat. Another reason you guys are so awesome is you can't catch everything. That's on my quote board, and I still didn't see it. Roblox, this is the one of concern to me right now, because $50 is here, right now. Low of the day is 50.20. If it bounces off this level, I gotta take this one out. 50 is too big a psychological level, but I'll give it a shot to break.
Did we miss Brennan's come with Ford news? Because 7 minutes ago, Ford just started going ham here on an EV spin-off potential. So I don't know. I thought, I mean, normally this is something that would have popped up here, but look at the big time volume going now on Ford. Monster move to the upside. I got it from someone there on the chat. What's up to Scott H? What's up to you guys there? What's up to, I think it was you, Glenn Bailey. So thank you so much. I mean, I'm losing right now, but thanks for bringing it to my attention there, Ford. Glenn Bailey, what's up, buddy? Talk of a potential spin-off there 8 minutes ago. Ford weighed potential spin-off of EVs or engine business, and I apologize if I missed Brendan. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at NVIDIA, trying to watch this thing go turn around, and then here it comes back in now. So look, small trade there because we're just trying to figure this news out. If it breaks back down below this 1820 right there, then I'm going to get out of this. So we'll average into it. If it breaks back down below, obviously the market is tanking here. That's probably a good short, if anything, but I just took this trade to see what was going to happen here with Ford. But yeah, look what else is happening right now. NVIDIA, there it is, getting ready to break now to the downside. 235 looming right here on our boy NVIDIA. Looks like it's going to take out the bottom now as well, guys. Wow, this market has no cap.
No chill.
In this market right now, guys.
So, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind there was like, don't fade Ford, fade GM. If it had any kind of a move up, fade GM on that, because if one spins off, then people start,
there it goes.
They start spinning their tires saying, well, another could spin off. Who cares? There's no news there. It already dropped like, 25, 30 cent drop there. Yeah, $50 on Roblox. I now have a trail to 50-50. So it either breaks 50 or I get out for a 2 and change winner on that. And here comes 1750 on DraftKings. So I've been patient. Hold on to the shorts that are working. Get more out of them than you would. Take your profits on your longs. It's been that in square for me. I'm kicking myself over that Cisco thing. Thank you guys for pointing it out. It definitely was a good one. We'll be all over. If I find a trade in that, I'll be all over it. But 1750 is the next big level here. It's on DraftKings, basically right here, right now. If it can consolidate and I see a big bid, that's the only way I like this long. I see about 50,000 shares on NASDAQ down there. Needs to be a heck of a lot more than that on the level for me to want that long trade. The support held at 1780. So I don't see any reason to trust 1750. It's not the wipe down and then sort of bounce back trade it was this morning. Now it's just a straight floodgates opening up, market breaking the lows. I don't like that long as much as I did before, but I will be shorting DraftKings 1750.
Yeah. Okay, so Ford obviously dumped out there. That's fine. I do want to put out a bigger position if we come back into $18 right there. That's where VWAP is. We have this period here. If we break below 18, then we'll be out of this one for sure. But we're going to try it right now again down here near 18, just on some good news. Like if the market turns around, maybe people will go over here to this name and figure out what's going on. So maybe, we don't know. We're going to take a shot here off 18 long.
Oh, it's happening.
Where's my bid? Oh, 05? Okay, so this needs to come back down a little bit here before we test this. So maybe we could start, okay, here, I mean, look at that. I was just like, maybe we could start it at 10, but here comes cranking down. I'm actually at 04 right now. I got to switch this order to 05. Nvidia is still going lower, man. There's lots of stuff popping off here. No idea what to expect, but the market definitely heading back to the downside here. It's a slippery slope, but wow, the market just downside.
As that happened, we ring it for the final. Oh, didn't even work that one, so I'll hit another one. We'll go to the gates of hell if that'll even. Nope. Looks like our graphics aren't working, but I'm out of Roblox.
Boo.
I said if it bounced off 50, that's the last place I would trail it. Look, there's always a 50 break to be scalped if it goes through that price anyways, but I said I'd trail it, so Roblox is done. It was 53 to 50. That's what the play was for me. We did make sure we scalped the first time. Second time I got in, I took some out at VWAP on the off chance to put a bull flag and broke back out. It did not, so everything had to be put back in the line down towards that 50 level. Obviously, it's going to be my top stock here today. We'll see. I mean, DraftKings 1750 is within spinning range, and we're getting very close to that 232. Wow, there's a 50 break, of course. Right after I get wicked out, 50 breaks on Roblox. Brendo?
Yeah, market trying to get back to day lows as well. Just saw DraftKings at day lows on another volume alert there, all the way down to 1750 now. For DKNG, let's take a quick second here and see what's happening over in Europe. An hour left in the session and the week over in Europe. What's up, Miss V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mixed. Power utility EDF trading in Paris is down around 3% after announcing rights issue, which will rise around $2.84 billion. Back to you.
Yeah, choppy day overall, but we are trying, guys.
It's the craziest thing, man.
Roblox is now sub 50.
If it was an algo saying how many times, what did you say the most this morning? Hold your shorts. And I'm still wicked out of Roblox. I'm still wicked out of a firm there. And DraftKings is holding 1750, but I still like that break. And 14,000 is still going to be on the bid of the NASDAQ. And as long as that's true, and Nvidia is coming into the target range, at this point, forget about the 1 minute, man. You're trading off your 15-minute charts. So that 232 is about the last line standing in front of 14,000. I can at least show you that. This is what 14 looks like on the week. We can bounce off this level. Nvidia's got some support down here, so I'll take my first swing at it off that. And we'll see what happens. I mean, Roblox just retook 50, so maybe it wasn't that bad of an out at all. But yeah, man, if that holds below $50, I don't even know where the bottom can be. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, all of our, at this point, that's all we seem to be having is guesses right now, because this market is like, you just kind of like got to pick a name and say like, okay, maybe this level will hold, or maybe it will not. I'm going to go down here to 300, sorry, not $300, I wish. Down here for Microsoft, watch out for this 289 level is what I was looking at right now. We'll get a piece in. Microsoft, we're slightly down on this name today, so we'll see if we can defend this level one more time here, down to 298 on Microsoft. We'll just see. I mean, I'm hoping we can defend it, but let's take some more bids out here to the downside. We'll see if we can get an average price a little bit better than this on Microsoft as it's starting to come back down. We're just going to watch for it to go through the level that we hope it doesn't, and that is going to be this 289. So here we go, long on Softy right now, and it's down to these levels, man. We've talked about this. Will the market hold or not? This is 289 right there. Although these wicks, we're not counting those, but maybe they mean something. It's down here to 289. Microsoft, one last shot on this one, man. It's been decent for us today. It's just we didn't capture as much profit. Where's my 1 minute chart? Here it is. We didn't capture as much profit as we should have. This was a nice run. Like, look at this. 290 out, 291.15 or whatever it was. That's $1, right? There's another trade right there. And then we got a little bit dumped out here. Here it comes. Wow, these markets, man, just crashing. I didn't even think we'd get all these averages in, but now we're reloaded, and we're going to watch to see if this keeps on going to the downside. Unbelievable, Neil, that we were short. Like, I was short a lot of shares up here on Palantir. A lot, because it was at these levels, and we just did not respect it all the way to the downside. We should still be in this short of Palantir. And that's really, for me, the most disappointing thing for me today is that we're not in this short and that we somehow got stopped out of these Roku shorts right here on the upside. But other than that, man, here it comes. Microsoft, it looks like it wants to tank City as well. So hope for there's a rebound in the market. But I think that was a call for Miss V. What's up?
That's right, Sean. We've got a super chat from Mick Chan saying, thanks, guys. Great trading day. We're super happy you're having a good day, Mick. Thank you so much for your super chat. And guys, if you want also support the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button. And back to you guys.
Okay.
And look, thank you guys so much. It's about trying to find opportunities. And look, it's easier said than done. Like if trading was easy, then everybody would do it. And Vivek's in the chat there, and I was talking to him saying, look, you can be up on the day. Like the shorts won. Like I'm not going to be mad over the result in Roblox, but Roblox is at 49.60, and I just covered the trade at 50.50. That was $1 or so ago, and I had that one dead to right. So it's about your individual decisions. When you go back and look, forget about your P&L. Are you happy with your decision-making process? And I don't think Arun would probably like slap me in the face for the trailing stop that I just had on Roblox there. So I know it wasn't a great decision. I just got my entry point in NVIDIA. That's the stock. Here we go. Off that 232, I said go back to the 15-minute chart, find the one area of support that I liked. It just bounced off it, so I'll see if I can get the quick first scalp for me on NVIDIA, 33 to 34 as we go to Brendan.
All right, another SPAC, guys, going crazy here. Halted twice already for GNRA on the way back down this time, but halts up. This is Greenlight Biosciences. Used to be a SPAC, about 100 million on the float for this one.
My goodness, there's one of these every few minutes, but I'll tell you right now, I don't even know if our keys are working, but I said it really quickly a couple of minutes ago. Look at your 15-minute chart. Like, forget about your 1. It's just, or even your 3. I mean, I use 3s on my screen above me. It's all 3-minute charts. But you go back to that 15, because if you're going to try to find a long, it better look good on your 15-minute chart or your 60-minute or something like that. That's what I was saying on NVIDIA this morning. So that's my first entry point. Now, if this is a bounce off 14, I've scalped $1 on the trade. If this is a bounce off the one level we got left on the NASDAQ here, and we can get anywhere close to 14.1, I gotta feel like NVIDIA can get back to this 38 level. I'm not talking about holding it all day long. I'm simply saying now risk that $1 to try and make 5. It's we took profit at 1-to-1, so if we lose on the rest of this trade, we'll be flat on it. Otherwise, I want 238. Not a hero trade, but this was like the reverse head and shoulders, the upside down head and shoulders. So I want to get out in front of that on the way back to the upside. It's not going to matter. If we don't bounce off 14,000 on the NASDAQ, it's not going to work, but at least it's a level I know where I'm getting out. If 32 breaks, it is what it is, as we like to say. Roblox is at 49.50. I saw someone in the chat put 48. So if you had a reason to hold to 48, you win. Hats off to you, sir. Or ma'am.
Yeah, we have no idea. Like we said, you just got to try to play some levels. I'm going to try one more time here on Softy and just hope, like you said, that the NASDAQ can hold and Microsoft retraces back upside a little bit. So I don't know. It's the biggest position I've had on today for Softy, and we're just going to try it right down here. It looks like it doesn't want to go, man. It just had a chance right there and stopped. So I don't know. I'm still so peed off about Palantir because we had that trade. I want to give a big shout. I don't know if we did this yet. Thanks, guys. Thanks to Mick Chan right now. Thank you so much. Great trading day. Yeah, not bad. Not great for me. Hopefully not bad for you. So thank you, Mick Chan, right now today, as I am still just like shell-shocked a little bit here by this market. Like right there, I was waiting at 29 on this trade here for Microsoft, and you know what it went to right there? 28s. Like that's just honestly, that's how the day's going right there. Now I'm going to get slapped out of this when I had an offer literally 1 penny away from where it just went to. So yeah, this is not my day today for longs anyways. And then when the shorts that I do have, I get out of. I had a monster position right here on Palantir, and I just sat there with it, got out as it was coming down, and now you're seeing Palantir at basically all-time lows, back down to 1060, absolutely disgusting. And then there goes Microsoft as well, taking out new lows, and all I want to do is buy it back. So I have no idea what's going on right now, but hopefully Brendan does. What's up, Brendo?
Hey guys, yeah, choppy start to the day. Here's the board. For the S&P, we are down just 0.3 though, so it is a tale of kind of two tapes, as they say. A lot of individual names in the red. Same story on the other side, offsetting. We'll start in the tech group here. Intel, NVIDIA, and Enphase all leading the way to the downside in the semiconductor group. That's Adobe having a bit of a sell-off today, 2.6%. But overall, software stocks as a group are pretty flat. Keys there in the hardware equipment maker, 4% to the downside. Again, everything else either flat or slightly higher, trying to offset. GE down 4%. The rest of the industrial group pretty much in positive territory. Again, trying to offset a little bit. Healthcare stocks are quiet. Pharmaceuticals, same thing. Financial stocks, pretty quiet. I wanted to mention MS there, 1.7 to the downside, where the rest of the banks are actually either flat or a little bit higher, so standing out. Material stocks, utilities, and communication stocks, all tons of big movers, but back and forth, some positive, some negative. So overall, a little bit flat for all three of these, like Twitter, 2.5, Netflix, 2.5 the other way. So kind of offsetting each other. Same story for Match there, but back in negative territory. Energy stocks, far corner, we saw oil trying to bounce. It was down 2+% to start. We're back to about 1.8. So it's back and forth. Only 0.3 though for the overall market, guys. To the downside. Over to you.
So I'm gonna pull up the Qs. I said the NASDAQ 14,000. If you're watching the Qs, 34.2, right, 342.5, which we're sitting at basically right now. This breaks, you have back to January lows as your next support level. So that's what I sort of mean. Like this is the line in the sand. I got the second long that I've had today. The first one was in Square. That worked. Square was just off 100, man. Like that just. There's nothing scientific about that one, and that eventually broke. But NVIDIA was just off that 232 level on the 15-minute while the futures are making their bottom. I'm shooting 238. I got that level off the 15-minute chart as well. So forget about VWAP, forget about anything I see on my 1 minute. I almost don't care about it. And I want to clarify something because someone I think misinterpreted when I was like the hats off to whoever said Roblox at 48. I'm not saying to buy Roblox at $48. I'm simply saying I had a target at 50 because it was a round number more than anything else. And someone had said in the chat it's going to 48. That's why I saw someone say that. I'm like, okay, that seems random to me. But guess what? Seems like it's going to 48. It doesn't matter win or lose. I don't think like this exit seemed reasonable at the time in case it put a bull flag and then broke back out at 53 a key price. But, I mean, it doesn't look very good in retrospect, and I'm kind of questioning myself for the trailing stop that tight off of the 50 level. So as we talk about evaluating decisions, I want to go back to Roku. I lost money shorting Roku today. This is me. I had the level entirely wrong. There's nothing I can do about that. If I'm shorting off a 110, this is never going to be a winning trade. There's no way to turn that into a winning trade. It's the wrong price level. All you can do is take the hit and then look for the next. Should have been $5 up. It wasn't. But guess what? Roku's actually holding pre-market lows. If the market were to rally off of here, it actually has a chance to break back out. So find your relative strength. I got NVIDIA long. I'm not forcing too many trades here. I'm just going to pick our spots. We only have 15 minutes left to go. DraftKings still hasn't broken 1750, and we're now 15 minutes from handing you guys off to Trader Pratt and Ms. V, and we're still waiting for 1750 to break on DraftKings. Maybe it's telling me to at least try the long.
Yeah, we have a new position right now. We'll go back to the meme mania here, and we'll take a AMC long through 18 and see if that can work now to the upside. As we're just holding on to some softy right now at 289.10. We'll see if that can go. But I was going to use this bottom of 1780 or so on DraftKings on AMC there. I have to look at DraftKings again as well. But AMC is at this level that we like here. We talked about this. It's been on the sticky note a bunch of times. The 1750 area, and today we wicked down into 1770. So we can use that as sort of our out on any sort of a trade that we put on right now for AMC. I am willing to average into this one back down. So let's look at a minute chart for this. And again, we know AMC can go. It's down 5% today. But I'm going to put some more shares here around 1780 or so, and then try to get to 1770 as my out. And then upside, yeah, 1830. We'll see if we can tick that out a little bit there to 1830. But now the market just continuing to move lower, lower, lower right now on all of these trades. So let's just wait to see where we go. Look at my one short that I held. Yay for me. SoFi all the way to the downside, now 30 cents in the money. As Palantir, I don't even want to look at that stock. Make me sick.
At least there goes NVIDIA. It's up to 236. Now by the way, I couldn't help myself. I did take a long at 54 on DraftKings at 1750, which means it's going to promptly break any second now. When it does, I'm going to be risking 5 cents plus slippage. But I didn't have to take this one. I just couldn't help myself. And it looks like it's having some trouble breaking through. But I did want to get to NVIDIA as it popped because, look, the target here at 238, when the market's coming down, I got to respect the fact that if it can't get through this cluster at 35 to 37, I need to have a trail somewhere in this range. I would like to see it break 236 and then pop a 235 trailing stop on it. But in this market, it almost feels like I should be a little bit more aggressive than that. DraftKings, at least for now, might be a one and done. I'm not saying it's completely over, but I tried it. It didn't work, and then came right back to the upside. It broke it, got to 1745, and then popped back to the upside. That's actually the same trade as Palantir, where it does a fail break and comes back up. The difference is I like it so much more when it does that at the open as opposed to doing later. Now watch it end up working here later in the day, but that's not the way I wanted to take this trade. I wanted that same trade as Palantir if it was closer to the open where you had that just panic aspect to it. I don't think you're getting the same panic aspect through 1750, but I could be wrong, and it's a gorgeous long.
30. I was looking at Apple here. I mean, AMC now can't even go through 10, so I don't know. AAPL, we'll wait. I'm waiting at 7 to get something out there. Apple right now, like I'm trading Microsoft, trying to buy these bottoms, and it's like the only thing, NVIDIA was a great bottom, and it's starting to go. Apple's starting to go off the bottom as well. This is not a horrible, I mean, again, it's just like, if there would be some nice, words coming out of Ukraine or out of Russia, might be nice right about now. But again, the market trying to go, and it's just bouncing again. Like it didn't even come close to the 50 period there. It tried to take out. I mean, it's just bouncing off 14,000. We talked about that. But right now, look, now it wants to go back downside. So it looks like Microsoft, the name that we've been on for a while and trading pretty well. Not today, man. It looks like it wants to take down again. We're trying to defend these. I mean, some good trades, but trying to defend some of these bottoms just not working out for us on Softy. So here we go to the downside again for Microsoft. We just got filled in a little bit longer there on this trade. So I don't know. Let's see where we go now on Microsoft. Back down. Trading the wrong name here. NVIDIA, much better. Neil got dot bottom. Maybe PayPal, maybe even Facebook. But today, Microsoft, I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't want to go upside right now.
It's funny you say that because as Sean's like, yeah, you got that bottom. I just trailed out of NVIDIA because it tried to make that curl, break back up maybe to that 38. And I said if it entered that target range, I should trail out of it because the market's still weak and test the low. This is not the type of market where you want to give up that winner. If it retests the bottom, I mean, the level I like is 232 and I'm long 233. I'm just going to lose an extra $1 instead of making 2 in that situation. So if it wants to test lower, it's going to have to be right at that 232. So we'll take the profit and run. It's like every time, look, the trail outs, it's interesting. The trail outs and the long make sense today when we're trending down. Trail outs in the short, think about it next time, Neil. Hold on to your short and don't trail it out. The only longs I had was this in Square. It's just sometimes when it's a reverse, Is 100 a big level? Let me think about that for a quick second, Neil. Oh yeah, it's a big level. So maybe I should have reversed and held a short and Square when it finally took out 100. Do I? No. Now it's at $98 and there's nothing you want to do with it. Roku, by the way, and if you're looking for something which isn't dying, oddly enough, it's Roku. I don't know why, but Roku down, maybe it's because it's already down 27%, but holding this 105 level as the market screams through the low. Maybe this is the last thing worth defending. Maybe DraftKings because it's down 20 whatever percent as well. That 1750 holding, but I'm not going to force anything. At this point, I'll be happy that we were able to make the money on Roblox and Square and NVIDIA and be profitable. I'm not forcing any trades at this point. I'm looking to see if we can hold 14,000 now. If we can hold 14,000, then there's some longs we can look at. Roku makes some sense to me. Maybe NVIDIA above 232 makes some sense as well. And we know Bitcoin's been going back and forth that 40,000 level. So let's see where we are right now. It's Money Talks with Brennan.
Hey guys, finally a bounce for the US dollar. Let's have a look at some currencies today. It's been quite the couple of weeks. Going back to that inflation reading, CPI note, that started off the selling for the DXY here from 97.5, you remember, down to 95.5. We're back above 95.75, trying to hold today in positive territory. So 0.2 to the upside, everything else a little bit weak or basically flat, as you can see outside of Turkey. Turkish central bank holding interest rates steady for the first time in a while this week. So back to the upside here, 0.5% for them. Everything else, as I mentioned, uneventful so far. 2% and 3% for Bitcoin and Ethereum to the downside, Ripple following suit. So volatility continues, guys. Back over to you.
All right. Yeah, volatility continues for sure. We got stopped out again of our Microsoft right at these levels. So, yeah, I can't seem to master this volatility here today at all, as Microsoft and Roku have just been epic disasters when we should have just stayed on, you know, a name like an NVIDIA and tried to pick some of those bottoms and whatnot. Instead, Microsoft can't find a bottom today, just straight to the downside. And it just looks a lot like the market, I mean, to be honest with you. So, I mean, you know, if the market's obviously going to be weak, then some of these names are dead in the water. Even before they started. So today, yeah, it's a big risk off day. Thanks for that note in the chat. You have to realize that, like, who's going to actually hold anything into this weekend, I think, is a very, very dangerous thing for traders to do. So it does obviously make a lot of sense what is happening right now, as some liquidation in some big names happening today. You just mentioned Roku. I'm just as surprised as anybody that name seems to be holding up as well. So yeah, for right now, just a frustrating day for me. None of these shorts seem to be working except for the one that I had and gave up, and that was Palantir. Like, what am I going to do? Buy this bottom again right now? We've been doing that all day. Something needs to change. If the momentum changes, fine, and we can start to hit some of these 50 periods. But until then, no. I just heard Roblox being shutted out there. Thank God we got out of the way of this one early, as this is down to 49 and trying to go now. Maybe Roblox has some bid to it, but again, like another name that's just been beat down.
And look, it's just, I was having this conversation with Goldman. First thing, Goldman saying, "Pray for me. I'm gonna be buying some Russia right now." Godspeed, my brother. Yeah, I probably won't be doing that, but I said this. I'm actually flat, no positions, and a lot of times I'll have 5 or 6 on. The more volatile the market is, it's like, yeah, 1 or 2 things at a time, maybe 3. The days when we're not going as crazy volatility-wise, I'll be sitting in 3 or 4 small caps, and I'll be trading 2 or 3 movers as well, and that's what I'd rather be doing. But here, it's like pick your spots, get in, get out, do some Arun action, pew, pew, that's his thing, where you're like a sniper, and that's the best I can do. Like, I don't even, like, NVIDIA's holding the level I like, and I'm not even back into the long. Like, that's the kind of day it is, because I just don't want to be giving up the day. I'd rather take this out and have it go to 238 and have a pie in my face than give up the profit that we have on this stock. If I play something next, it really does feel like it's going to be Roku. Goodness, I typed in New York and now there we go. It might be Roku. Like, it's just barcoding, relatively speaking here, down 27% as the market is crashing. If we start to go and you get a break, maybe not of 107, but looking at the opening range here, this is like 107.50. So like 107.50, let it get through 107, break 107.50. You got $1.50 right into 109 here. So, you know, maybe you can take that trade, get a bit of a scalp trade out there, and then look at that 110 to see it extend. But even that might still retest those lows. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a crazy, look, the middle of the day is going to be crazy. The afternoon is going to be utter nonsense. I promise you that. Like, this market is not going to be kind to anybody. And if you're looking at some of those crazy movers, your ISPOs, your, what was it, that QNGY, just to reiterate what we were talking about before, still Roku somehow. If you're still in any one of these crazy runners and you haven't taken your profit, I'm just going to point out, I could have pulled up any one of these charts. This is what it looks like when it goes the other way, right? Like, it comes down just as fast as it goes up. No one ever went broke taking profit. This one was up, you know, it was a double up. Now it's back to 420, which is where it closed yesterday. So this is what can happen to you when you don't take profit. And you know what? Most of your profit was pre-market. You swing these things, you better be able to trade it in the pre-market and post-market, because sometimes that's where your gain is. Brendo?
Happen next week. Remember, Monday is off. We will not be here until Tuesday morning. So everyone gets a long holiday weekend. So enjoy that. So we'll show you some earnings. This is going to be pre-market on Tuesday morning, guys.
Mates, yeah, Home Depot, a good name. I mean, if you're thinking about, you know, picking up a real company here that's not going to have, like, that crazy 20% move down, and watch what happens to Home Depot now. But I think Home Depot is another one of those solid names that people will consider a value stock. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what their PE is. As I say that, let me check quickly what their PE is.
I know, I was
on Home Depot, because I consider, yeah, I mean, it's down to 21. So I think that's pretty good. That's probably really low for Home Depot. So that might might be something. Macy's.
But it's like Caterpillar was. It's like
retail's
it's
pretty
good,
hot though.
But it's not as cheap as you think, right? Like it's sure it's cheap relative to other things, but yeah, Cat was like that as well. But Macy's, by the way, we talk about the short interest always in Macy's. That actually squeezed today, unbeknownst to me.
Squoze?
That's squoze this morning. It's a word. It's actually in the Webster's dictionary. You're right, Brad. I'm wrong.
Brad's got
Fine. Good thing we didn't bet on it. 25 to 15, coming back in a little bit here. But hey, in front of earnings, obviously risk off works in both directions here with a long weekend as well. So I know we'll be watching Macy's on Tuesday because it's always a good trade for potential upside or go either direction, potential volatility after that name reports. A lot happening here in the markets. DraftKings is holding that 1750, which is kind of crazy to see it happen. And I keep talking about PayPal and I don't trade it. But PayPal, if we continue this trend to the downside, that 100 level on PayPal, the same way it was good on Square, you better believe I'll be trying it on PayPal. That low? It's 104 now. It's got a low of 103.60. But if we break 14,000 on the NASDAQ, I think we're seeing 100 PayPal, and that's probably worth the defense. It is always worth it to go to the desk and see what national day it is from Ms. V.
Hey guys, I hope you all found some profitable opportunities this morning, and please join Prad and me right after to continue trading this day. Please don't leave without giving this video a like, and happy National Drink Wine Day, everyone.
Drink Wine Day done. I mean, this is already date night, so Drink Wine Day is absolutely no problem. Marissa's already messaged me. She didn't like my comment earlier about not buying fine wine. Well, today now we're just going to be drinking like the bottom of the barrel for sure. So, yeah, sorry about that, but we have a nice date night planned, and yeah, we'll be tipping back some wine bottles there. So I don't know if I have enough money for an Uber on the way home, but we'll find out about that one. So yeah, that's a National Wine Day. Well, I don't know. We're having Italian, so I don't know, maybe Chianti or something tonight. We'll figure it out. We'll see what the sommelier has to say about that.
I might find that Massey wine just because I know I've had it. I know I had a good bottle of it. I got to figure out what it was. But that was the stock Brennan brought to us, MASI. I actually don't even remember the company or what it does, but that's a good one. Obviously, everyone enjoy your long weekend, President's Day. It's family day here in Canada, so spend time with the fam. I got in-laws coming tomorrow. And then I got my parents coming by on Sunday, which means it'll be a fantastic weekend, no matter how this ends. I know we heard Trader Prad several times yelling. I don't know what he was trading. I'm going to go out on a strong limb and say people were looking at Palantir today. That had some monster levels to it. Don't forget to check back in with us. 2 o'clock.
He's on Tesla.
He's trading Tesla today?
Yeah. I can see your
done,
trades,
Trader
bro.
Prad. I looked at Tesla and never talked about. I know, what are you even thinking about? We can see your trades.
How do I know what Pratt is trading?
We have risk. Come on, man.
Let me guess. Your price is 860.89 short, Pratt. 860.89. Pratt is short. Let's see if we are right, guys, on that one. But yeah, obviously we.
It's a great short.
Yeah,
it's a great short, and he'll be able to talk all about it. Make sure you come back to us at 2 o'clock because Power Hour is going to be crazy. It's witching. It's options expiration for Friday. So the open and close are extra special on those days, which means it'll be spicy, hot fire. I don't know what's going on with Brendan and Mark over there, but Mark the whole time has been at work, not on the ladder.
He just put a nice wine in the chat, so we'll have a look at that. We'll talk about that on our 2:30 show, at our 2 o'clock show here.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, the Massey there. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. Well, come back at 2 o'clock. We'll talk wine.
It's cheap.
Yeah, if it's a cheap bottle of wine, I'm down.
It's right here. I got it on my screen, man. This is the one.
$22.25.
$22, man.
In America, that bottle is probably $8, but here in Ontario, thank you to the government for the taxes. But hey, we got to deal with the booze we can get, right? So good bottle there. We'll be picking some of that up. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Neil, for that recommendation. But without any further ado, it's Market Movers. Let's go over to Pratt and V.
For the last day of the week, it is time for the favorite, your best, the greatest show ever, known as Market Movers. Legendary. You're looking good in green today.
Thank you.
Markets are not green today.
I'm trying my best, Brad. We'll see.
We need more of that green energy.
Right. I'm trying my best. Sending all the luck to my trading family. And hey, guys, happy Friday to you all. What a tense morning. I hope you're all doing great. Found some opportunities. As usual, be active on the chat. Ask us anything. And don't